This is two-time six-man all-star baller Ricky Deuces Pierce, and I rock with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but they don't know anything. Bless you, brothers.
Welcome back. We took an hour break, and it's a podcast where we think we know everything, but we really don't know shit. Hey, but as Ricky said it, we don't know anything. We really don't know anything, but we know a few things. Especially my all-star team. Let me introduce them. First part of the all-star team, my man, the X Factor. AB.
I'm coming in first. Oh, okay. What's up?
Hey,
What's
B.
up? What's up? We're back.
What up, man?
Second round, even better than first, right?
I caught you by surprise. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, well, the third part of our transformer, he couldn't make it. So you up, buddy. So let me introduce the second part of the All-Star team. My man who knows every stat from every single team since the 90s. My man JB.
What up, fellas? What's going on?
What up with you, JB? How you feel, man?
Nothing much. Chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? Had to do a little work or whatever. Man, I was able to catch a little bit in between games. Ryan Baker earlier, man. Hey, Ryan Baker was smooth, man. He a real down-to-earth dude, and he knows his stuff. I enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah, Ryan Baker, he's a dope dude, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, easy going. I know he got to go to bed early because he be up at like 5 in the morning.
Right.
Fresh
right.
to death,
Right. Yep. So man, let's just dive right in. We got a lot of stuff happening in Chicago sports, man. First, probably the biggest thing right now, I would say, is Anthony Miller getting traded to the Texans. That's probably like one of the biggest reads right now in the newspaper. So
did not see that one coming. A second round pick out of Memphis. We had some big things that we expected from Anthony Miller, who was a little bit more than serviceable in my opinion. You know, he did make some good creative plays, but then it was the untimely drops. You know what I'm saying? Like third and that 7 when he'd had that out route and just couldn't come up with it, or running the wrong route and then the read was off. Kind of hoping I would have a little bit. I understand because we got Marquise Goodwin that's probably going to take his place, but we wish Anthony Miller well. He was not a
someone said he was traded for a ham sandwich. Basically, we got like a 5th round pick for a second round pick and a second round pick being Anthony Miller and a 7th round pick in 2022. I mean, come on, man. We didn't get shit. But we got a full ass wide receiver room right now, though.
But unless it was something we don't really know, like, is it something behind the scenes? Because we never really heard of Anthony Miller and anything. If anything, I would have thought Javon Wims would have been the one that might have been on his way out of town because of the antics of last season, but
I mean, but if you think about it, Anthony Miller had some of the antics too. He just had a different level of play than Javon Wims did.
Absolutely. But is he a true number 2 for the Bears?
No.
That's the key.
No.
He's got all the diva-like qualities, but he doesn't have that hype level of play that a lot of those divas have. That's his problem,
And that's where it comes into. Sometimes you deal with the divaism if the production is high.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is Javon next? Should he be next? Because I still can't forgive him for dropping that touchdown pass that Mitch threw in that New Orleans game. Mitch actually threw a good pass.
Absolutely, but
and Javon Wims, it just went right through. Like you're a professional, dog.
Like butter,
What
man.
the fuck is that?
But one of these things is this.
Like a stick of butter.
Somebody has said, hey, look, man, you can't waste good passes by Mitch because they come few and far between. So
Yes.
Get one every third game, maybe.
I mean, that was a dime. That was an absolute dime he threw.
Absolute dime. A great pass from Mitch.
But has Javon Wims played his way into that starting rotation with that West Coast, though? Because right now you're looking at A-Rob, Goodwin, and Mooney.
And also, they just signed. I mean, I'm telling you, just an hour or two ago, they just got Justin Hardy. He was a wide receiver with the Falcons.
And didn't we just pick up the guy that ran like a 4.24 from the Patriots?
Yeah, that would be
Bird.
Yeah,
right, Bird.
Yeah.
So now does that X out Riley Ridley?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wait, you're going to carry 6?
Well, right now you're carrying 11 into training camp, so some of them are going to delete themselves out. Because you're talking about the final cuts, right?
Right. Because remember, they're letting you extend your roster a little longer into the regular season. Plus, with that 17th game, you might want to put somebody on the practice squad. But with all those receivers, what does that do with a Tyreek Cohen, who is a gadget player that can kind of fill that receiver role too? Remember, Cohen comes back this year, and we already picked up Williams from KC, plus David Montgomery. Like, we have a full backfield as well.
We do. I mean, for me,
James. I mean,
for me, it's okay. So he's obviously not healthy yet anyway. He started up the year on the PUP list. So we're not going to probably see him right away anyway. He's probably going to come in for gadget plays,
right?
Probably jet sweeps, some bubble screens, things of that nature, basically, like you're saying, slot receiving, on a 5 wide, stuff like that. Honestly, JB, the only reason he's on this team, in my opinion now, is because of that contract they gave him last year.
Which the Bears are not into getting rid of some money right now.
I think they're regretting that contract, in my opinion at least, because like you said, we've got our 1-2 punch at running back. We've got a load of wide receivers, but you never know. Next man up, for him being that next man up in the slot, I wouldn't be mad about that. So just having that extra depth at that position, at a position on an offense that's been anemic for how long? We might need that just to figure out, what packages work with what guys. So we all end up on the right side of the win column, having 30, 35 points a game instead of, fucking averaging maybe 20 if we're lucky. It's a no-brainer to me to keep him for now, see what happens a little bit. Maybe Daz Newsome isn't really able to stay healthy. Right. Maybe we use Tariq Cohen for the punt return situations. Maybe we put him in for kickoff. There's other things. So finding the mix for all those guys in camp is what they're probably thinking and doing, which I would do the same. Fill that cupboard up with as many as you can now, because as soon as the season comes, you're going to need every bit of one of those guys.
Absolutely. And, to me, where the controversy, if any, would come in would be how well does Justin Fields build his rapport? And if him and Tyreek Cohen have that great rapport, now you kind of have to put him on the field, not so much in a safety as a security blanket type of role, Fields, but just for that comfortability, because now if he stretches the field, like you said, in that 4 or 5 wide and he's one-on-one with a strong safety or linebacker, that could end up being Fields' best friend.
Exactly.
Whereas Dalton would be a little bit more cagey as a veteran to be able to, hopefully outflank certain defenses. But, you got one-on-one with Tariq Cohen and a linebacker, man. Everybody else don't move. Shoot, Tariq burn this guy,
That's basically what this offense is really going to set up to be. It's going to be one-on-one matchups in the slot. Our friend Blake here actually asked, he said, how do we feel about A-Rod playing the slot? I completely think that's a horrible idea, Blake.
I don't know if he's a route runner enough.
He's a route. Yeah, he's a route runner. Great routes.
But they're not the speed. He don't have the speed to do it.
Yeah,
Slot is usually a fast guy. Unless it's Jerry Rice, but Slot is usually like a really fast guy.
Well, yeah,
it wouldn't
I mean,
be A-Rob.
having that
Tariq is
guy-
best cut out for that spot.
Yeah,
but
just somebody who, just like you said, JB, you can line up against a slow linebacker like a Danny Trevathan type linebacker. One of those slow guys out the gate where you can make them miss once. You're getting 15 yards up the field. Maybe some yak on that too. Honestly, depending on who's running the ball, maybe you can break a big one. I wouldn't put A-Rob there. I would keep A-Rob on the number one corner.
You know what?
Have that matchup. Have that safety run and cheat over there. So then all those guys on the inside, they can get those yards up. They can outrun them safeties that are over there worried about A-Rob. That's the way I would run it. I mean,
let me propose this to you though.
Yeah.
Let's say in certain situations, you do put A-Rob in the slot left, slot right, depending on the protection, obviously, because you wouldn't want to put him on the same side as a tight end. That's just foolish. Yeah. But let's say he's slot left and he is clear with a linebacker or safety on a 3rd and short. He's sure enough hands to where he could get that 3 to 4 yards.
And that's the only time.
Right. So I can see that conceptually being a reason why you would put him in the slot, but not for any length of time. You need him.
That's also why you've got Jimmy Graham. That's also why you've got Cole Kmet. You've got those big bodies at tight end, so they can draw that.
So let him get those short yardage plays.
Yeah, exactly.
But here we go again. If he doesn't get open, if Cole is not getting open, if Jimmy's not getting open on that 3rd and short, of which you already know, Nagy loves to pass on those 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s even.
And I wish he'd stop that shit.
I mean, let's just be honest. He shouldn't even be doing that.
No, he should not. He should not.
Montgomery's falling forward for 3 yards. I mean, my God.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things where let's hope Nagy gets out of his own way. Let's pray that he gets out of his own way because David Montgomery is ready.
He's got a fucking workhorse in the backfield.
He is a
feed him. Let him eat.
Let him eat the whole
David Montgomery is a fucking workhorse. Just give him the ball. Let him go.
Exactly. I saw a little preview of their mini camp, and dude is jacked right now. Yeah. I don't know what workout he was on.
He actually lost weight, I heard.
He looked like he cut a little body fat, but he also put on some more muscle, and he's he was already in shape, but now he's ripped. You know what I mean?
That's good. I'm ready. Woo. I remember watching he went up to Nagy on the sideline, and
I saw that. Yeah.
He told him, he goes, "When can I get in and
I want to run the ball?"
He's like, "Yeah, I want to run the ball." He's like, "You're not made to run the ball preseason freaking mini camp." He's like, "You're made for the game, man." He's like, he's ready for the game.
I want to run the ball.
Let's hope he gives him
what he's showing me, right?
Carries a game like he promised us he would.
But right now, that extra, that oomph that we're looking for in our Chicago players, Montgomery's showing it now. He's showing it right now. And I love it. And the first thing that I want to see is if Nagy is going to I know it's not going to be 50-50. We're not that naive as fans or as people that just know the game. But if we could get 65-35, would you be a little bit more impressed?
65-35 as the 35 being the run?
Pass to run, because it's not gonna be 50-50, it's not gonna be 60-40. But if he can stay in that 35 range to where if Montgomery is not getting 20 carries, at least the Bears running core is getting 20 carries.
I mean, Damian Williams can really bring something different to that. But as long as they're getting around, I would say I want my running back on that team to get at least 20 to 25 carries a game.
I would love to, but that
it depends on
West Coast
spread
is not geared to that.
No.
It's not geared for that.
No.
And then plus,
it's going to be a lot of halfback handoffs where he's in shotgun form and he's running a draw play or even a fucking option play to where we might see Fields run off the ball whenever Fields comes. Andy Dalton can run a little bit too. I mean, I'm not going to put it past him, but that's not something he's looking to do.
We're not going to see a whole bunch of that.
So until we get Justin Fields in, I'm hoping it's more of like single back sets, you know, things like that, because nobody's really getting fooled by Andy Dalton, you know, going, oh, I might take off a rolling ball. They know if he's pulling the ball out that way, they know Monty's getting the ball, period. Red Rifle's not running like that no more.
They do, but here's one thing to think of as well. We don't want them to get caught up in how Carolina did with Cam Newton. Just because your quarterback can run, you don't want to call a ton of designed run plays.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of run style.
Yeah, they're not going to do that shit with Andy Dalton.
I'm hoping.
Like, I think he's
now you don't even want to run the ball anyway.
No, he never had anybody like
Justin Fields either. But I see Justin Fields running ability more like, you know, I would say a Russell Wilson, you know, somebody who can run the ball, but he's not looking to run it all the time, even though he blows away Russell Wilson's speed. I would say that, you know, he's more that type of runner where he's really going to try to be smart with the ball. You know, he's going to run out of – he's not going to be like Lamar Jackson just trying to juke motherfuckers in the middle of the field all game long, you know. He's just not that kind of quarterback, I don't think, at least. But if he gets on the sideline, he's going.
But you've seen enough Ohio State games to see that when he tucks it and runs, it's usually not a designed run.
Yeah.
It's because nobody's open. Yeah. Whereas Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson were absolutely designed runs.
Yeah,
Michael Vick, absolutely designed runs.
Like Cam Newton is like lowering his shoulder, trying to go into guys in the middle of the scrimmage, like in the middle of the line. He's pushing through it. Justin Fields isn't doing that. That's what I mean whenever I'm saying he's more like a Russell Wilson type runner.
So let me ask this, guys. Are they not signing A-Rob because they're hoping that Darnell Mooney will step up in that position?
I don't think so. Well, first of all, Darnell Mooney, I'm not trying to be the height guy, but I don't think he's Tyreek Hill-esque on the outside, if that makes sense. So it just, you know, to have A-Rob 50-50 balls, comebacks, deep slants, deep in, like he just brings that route running dynamic and a bigger target. You know, when you're a taller quarterback throwing over a tall line to a smaller receiver, that's kind of difficult. So it's easier when you have a taller receiver that can just with a large radius and can just go get the ball. Not saying that Mooney can't, because obviously, you know, the outlier would be Tyreek Hill to say a 5'10" kid is jumping like a 6'5" guy.
Yeah,
you know. But Mooney on the inside, or maybe even
but have we given Mooney that chance yet, though? I mean, we haven't really given him that chance because he's had Mitch throwing him the ball this whole time. He hasn't been able to really showcase that, honestly.
But that's why I say I think he has to with Fields, because you know they're coming out 3 wide, 1 tight end, single back. Yeah. That's what it is. But even if you did put Mooney on the backside, 1-on-1 as the Z, and you have a lot of 1-on-1, you're hoping that Fields can, you know, depending on Nagy's play calling, is he going to check the 1-on-1 right away? Now, Mooney has the speed to get down there, you know, but
4.38 40, yeah.
4.38 40, but you know, as you know, on a 50-50 ball, speed don't really mean nothing.
No.
You got a heady DB with a little length and some jumping ability. He can close that gap real quick.
So I think running back to the original question, I think they're holding that money because there's going to be $30 million added on the cap next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got really 2 guys that you're looking at. One of them's A-Rob. One of them has to be Roquan Smith on the other side. You've got to pay these 2 guys. If you think Mooney is going to take that step, then maybe you gamble against that. But you know that Roquan's going to demand, you know, $95, $96 million. You know, that old boy from the Niners just got paid, and he's the highest paid guy at the position. I think he got 94 or 95, if I'm not mistaken. So you know that Roquan's going to get paid the same, if not more. So you've got to have that money set aside for him. That's a must. You have to have a leader of that defense going forward. Now, A-Rob, I think it depends on Mooney. I think it depends on Godwin. Because if those guys start shining in that system, then maybe you can go without paying A-Rob $20 million a year. I don't want to pay A-Rob $20 million a year. He's a top 10 guy, but I just don't see how that's going to benefit us going forward. You know, if you can get him at what he's at now, 16, 17 million all day, every day, I would pay him not all the time. But I just don't want to pay a guy like that 20 million.
How would you make that up though? Would you make it more incentive laden, or would you try to flood him with a great big bonus?
I mean, you have to incentivize that because wide receivers are built for that. Like, those are the type of guys you put the carrots in front of and they go get it. I mean, for me, I would love to keep it incentivized just for that reason, just so I can keep him driving and going forward. You know, if you can really, I guess, convince him for that bonus-wise, you can go that route, but I don't think a lot of players like going that route. I think players like that challenge and that incentive base to where they know that they're going to make more money if they put it all on the field. You know, those bonuses aren't always cut out as good as those incentives are. I mean,
they're not, but you know, the one thing, a linebacker reaching an incentive, 100 tackles, a couple of forced fumbles, interception, they pretty much hold their own accountability. A wide receiver, if the quarterback's not throwing you the ball, you're not going to get those 100 catches. If you're not getting red zone targets, you might not be getting the 7 touchdowns or more that you may think. You know, here's the thing. When you have more weapons, you have more options. Do we need A-Rob to have 10 touchdowns? No, we don't. Would we like him to? Of course.
Yeah.
But if he's got 7, Cole Kmet's got 5, Jimmy's got 6, Mooney's got 7, Williams has 3, Cohen has 2, Montgomery has, you know, if you spread the wealth, you know, you don't hit your incentives, but now you got to pick your poison. You just can't key on. Like, I'm sorry. The one thing that I hate when we played the Packers 2 times, right?
Facebook user right there.
Mooney is more Stephon Diggs, Tyler McLaurin. I can see that. I can see that a little bit. I can see that.
You need to go to StreamYard and accept so we know who's talking.
So we can see a name, give you credit.
Please,
right now, you just Facebook user.
Yeah, please leave a name so we can give credit, shout out, and we love to speak to you a little bit more. Absolutely, yeah. But that's whoever said that. I especially like more of the McLaurin than I do actually the Diggs for Washington. That's great.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah. That's a great comparison. Now, when we played Green Bay, you knew that.
That's Diop. That's Diop. What's up, Diop?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Diop. I don't know.
You knew that ball was going to Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah.
We don't need A-Rob to be Devontae Adams, if you get what I'm saying. We have enough weapons.
Not in this offense now.
Not in this offense.
Devontae Adams.
But you still need him on those 50-50 chances just to keep those safeties honest. Because
there you go. That's why I said you keep him on the outside for those 50-50 balls, especially, like I said, he's not burning you, but he'll chuck it up, he'll go get it.
Or he'll drop it and the DB will just grab it right out of his hands and then he'll run the other way for a touchdown. That seems to be the other side of A-Rob that a lot of people don't remember, but he's worth the money, man. Don't get me wrong. It's just not $20 million in my eyes, man. I wouldn't be giving him 20.
You stuck on that.
Like you said,
he's not worth that.
I just don't see it, man. Like, what is he? He's
I don't either.
6 yards.
I don't either. I think he's good. I think he's a great player, but come on, dog. You're not DeAndre Hopkins.
He's
not
not,
him.
but I mean, is he our Brandon Marshall all over again?
Yeah, I mean, that's the best. A lesser version of, but yeah, that's the best comparison. I mean, he's
a younger
he's
Musa Muhammad.
Oh no, he's better than Moose, man.
No, a younger Musa Muhammad, like when he was in North Carolina.
He's still better than that.
Nah,
I remember A-Rob
A-Rob's
like a
better than
total
Moose.
beast in Jacksonville, like that one year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, like and just like Blake said, you know, he has more yards than but he has less catches, so he has more big splash plays.
right,
You know, but I still, man, it's just it's real hard for me to give that guy $20 million when we're gonna have holes all over. Just like you said, we have an aging defense that they've got to address these things with. Money's coming up. They're gonna need secondary help. I don't care what anybody says. I love Jalen Johnson. I do. I don't think Trufant is going to be as good as they think he is. I just heard Nagy today say that, he still thinks that he's got that stickiness to him. But
who, Trufant?
Yeah.
But you know
he
what?
Came out today talking about how great he still is, and I'm
like, come on, man.
I hope
so
he's
are
right,
we getting into that? Are we getting into that mode now where we're getting, like the Prince Amukamoras and that when they're like on the tail end of their career,
washed up players
trying to get like
exactly
Chicago teams have a history of that. We have a history of getting washed up players and then trying to decorate them like, oh, they're gonna do this and they're gonna do. They don't do shit. Look at Ted Ginn Jr. He didn't do a motherfucking thing.
I didn't want to bring that up, but it pains me today to watch my favorite baseball player, Ken Griffey Jr., play with the White Sox. Like, that was painful.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, but Prince Amukamara. All right, Diab. We got to, man, this guy's going crazy in the chat. I got to tell you right now. So, first thing he says is
Prince was very good as a Bear.
Let's not get into that yet. Let's get on the topic that we're talking about first. All right, so not worth $20 million. He put up.
I gotta go.
He put up numbers with Blake Bortles and Mitch, right? Yeah, he's that guy that they can count on for that catch, right? But if you give him $20 million, what are you going to put around there? What do you plan on putting around there? Because you're not going to be able to pay all these guys, man.
There you go, and that's what I'm saying. To me, you can get more with your defense than you can trying to focus on A-Rob. Just from my opinion, moving forward, because
you can have wide receiver by committee. I mean,
by committee. How much more does Mac and Hicks? How much more do they have left in the tank? Roquan's got to get paid. We still need another linebacker.
Hicks is going to be gone after this year. Hicks is gone. I expect Dane Trevathan probably gone too. You got Christian Jones that came back. I think Christian Jones ends up taking his spot. You've still got Bilal Nichols, who's probably going to really hopefully take that step this year. So Hicks is out. You've got Dane Trevathan out. Who do you play? And you're going to have a second corner spot. Hopefully Kendall Vildor at the slot plays well. I've heard a lot of good things about him. He's very vocal at camp. Maybe he solidifies that spot. You need another corner. Are you going to get one in the draft next year? We don't have a first-round pick.
We don't.
So,
and you have to see who's on the free agency, because right now I'm not sure that I want to stick with Tyshawn Gibson for another year moving forward. I'm not sure.
We can't sleep on Trey Roberson. It came from the Canadian League. We can't sleep on him. I haven't seen a lot of him, but supposedly he's really good. I haven't seen tape yet.
But we have to see, because again, the other caveat is we still have a brand new, even though he was there, a brand new defensive coordinator. Those guys still got to mesh. They still got to gel. And we got to see, can he can he make impactful play calls, and adjustments in the heat, at a gameplay.
Yeah. And so this Facebook user, I don't know who this guy is either. He says
tell us who you are, because that's some good stats.
Yeah. So he said that Prince wasn't a turnover machine in the cover system. We're not playing that system anymore.
He wasn't a turnover machine. He was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
He was good enough to get by, but he got burned a lot too.
He did. He was serviceable, but again, we're not running Vic Fangio's 3-4.
No. Well, we're going to run a hybrid.
Hybrid. There you go.
Yeah. It's supposedly it's going to be like a cover 3 type with a lot more predication on like turnovers and pressure, things like that. We're not running that cover defense. And that's what this Facebook user doesn't understand, is that we have to really abide by what our system is. And Prince he's not even in the league anymore. But even if Prince was good today as he was in 2018, I wouldn't want him, because he's not that type of guy. We need those type of guys that are speed guys that can make up ground quick whenever anything happens, because that pressure is going to get there. But if they get burned, they can catch up. Prince couldn't catch a cold after 2019, man. He's not going to catch up to anybody anymore. I'm sorry. He's just not meant for this defense.
I'm trying to.
I used to have high hopes.
When was he good, though?
Y'all remember Tolliver when we got him from
Besides
LSU?
He was garbage.
I thought, 6'3", long range guy. I thought he was going to be a little better, and he couldn't get off the practice squad like
He was garbage.
He fit the mold.
I mean, I hate to say he was garbage. He wasn't good.
See, I don't think Kendall Vildor here. My guy Blake says that he's got him at number 2. I don't think he's going to be a number 2, just because
he won't.
He's just not built for that spot. I believe. I don't think the number 2 DB is on this team right now.
Not moving forward, no.
For them going forward,
it will be Trufant for now.
Trufant this year.
Vildor will be nickel because thank God no more Buster Screen, but hey.
That's another one.
Look, if
I'm on the opposing quarterback, I'm throwing the Desmond Trufant side all the time.
Every day.
All the time.
You're going to have that safety help over there all the time, which means, guess what? Those linebackers in the middle are going to have to play fast. And guess who can't play that fast?
Danny Trevathan.
And I don't want to see Khalil Mack in too much coverage this year.
You hopefully won't see him at all in coverage this year.
I hope not. But when they do that disguise under-over stuff when he drops back, I'm like, that's
like I just don't see this defense improving unless they have a different pressure-based style to where they're pressing at the line of scrimmage. They're pressing these wide receivers. They're making it hard for them. Not this 7-yard drop back where, you've got Kyle Fuller, who was, in my opinion, one of the best corners in the league.
Absolutely.
And a very good press guy playing 7 yards off. You know where the ball's going to go. Aaron Rodgers, short, quick drops. Because they knew they could get away with it. If you have a pressure-based defense like they did in 2018, remember that first game? Remember what Khalil Mack wore him like a hat.
Hey,
he was all over him.
Aaron Rodgers was struggling.
Because they made it hard on them. They pressured them. They pressured the wide receivers. They bumped and run the whole game. That's the defense that I feel that Sean Desai is going to hopefully bring to this team. And that's what we need on this team. That's what this team is made for. And Chuck Pagano, I hate talking about him because he's a nice guy, but his defense just is not
fucking
right.
Nice guy.
His defense isn't right for what's going on right now, 2021 in the NFL.
To me, his defense is if he had a bunch of undersized, fast guys just running around.
Yeah. But that's
play the coverage game, not the pressure game. Because again, everybody knows this, common sense. If you have average to slightly above defensive backs, you better have a good line play because that's where your pressure and your turnovers come from.
Yeah.
If you don't have pressure and subpar DBs, it's Christmas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Christmas.
For sure.
Bullets.
But no,
bullets.
for sure. Like exactly. Like JB, you nailed it on the head. And like for me, having these speed guys shows me what kind of defense they plan on running. Because if you bump on the line and you fuck up, you can make up the ground on the back end if you're fast enough. And that's what Nagy means about being sticky when he's talking about Desmond Trufant, is that he's sticky enough to bump and make a play. And then if he slips up a little bit, he's fast enough to get back with it. Now, if that lasts all year, I'll be surprised. He's had injury problems. I just don't know if he's going to cut it. I hope he does, but I still think the number 2 DB is out there somewhere, whether free agency or in the draft with hopefully a second-round pick. But you're going to have other holes in this team. So back to the original question, I'm not paying A-Rob. No way. No.
I'm sorry.
I'm paying Roquan.
The franchise, but
I'm paying Roquan.
Roquan is a must. I'm not letting another top tier linebacker get away. I'm not.
So what's going on in this tight end room? They're bringing in Jesse James. Does that mean that Demetrius Harris is expendable?
I think so. I definitely think so. But
right now, he's not even on the depth chart. Number 4 is JP Holtz.
Yeah, I didn't even see him on the depth chart when I
he's
looked.
not even on the depth chart.
So he's just practice squad eligible right now.
For now. And maybe they keep him there, but I don't see him having a spot in this team unless somebody goes down in that tight end room and you need that extra guy. Because the guy they just got, he's a blocking tight end. I don't think he had 200 yards receiving last year. This guy just comes in and blocks. He's that kind of tight end. You've already got Graham. You've got Kmet. You need another run-based type tight end, and that's what they just got in this guy. So maybe they have him if like Graham goes down. Maybe they have.
Are you talking about Jesse James?
Yes.
Yeah.
So remember,
sorry, I didn't clarify that.
No, remember in Pittsburgh, he was bolstering the line a little bit, but in the red zone, he was a viable target and on first.
Yeah, I mean, but so all right, hang on.
So the tight end is made for basically getting those little 3 to 4 yard passes. They can do that.
It's all just like short.
Well, they should be able to do that. Demetrius Harris, he had brick hands, so I guess it was a little bit tough for him.
He played for the Lions the last 2 years. 2019, 16 receptions, 142 yards, no touchdowns. His long was 23. Last year, he had 14 catches, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. The most he's ever had was he had 3 with the Steelers twice. So
that tells you right there.
That don't tell you what kind of guy he is. That's exactly what it is.
When is Cole Kmet going to take this step?
Well, this is what Blake just said. Great time to ask that.
Great question, Blake.
Because Blake just says, who starts? Is it Kmet or Graham? I know Kmet's the future, but has he taken that step? Yes. In my opinion, Kmet will start. He will be the tight end going forward. In this
you're saying against the Rams, he's going to start?
He's going to be number 1. Yes, I believe that 100%. You saw his progression last year. You saw how he got better throughout the season.
I also saw him not getting open on key possessions too, which hurt him.
Yes, but
I saw more of that.
Down in distance especially.
I mean, he had a couple big bombs that he had, but for the most part, you didn't see him start coming on, right? This kid's been working his tail off all off season. He was at tight end camp. He looked like a different animal. He's gonna come on and play better. Graham is 1 year older. You know what Graham does? Graham does one thing and one thing well. He's a short yardage guy. He's red zone.
Correct.
You're not going to put him in that situation starting the game when you're wanting to spread the field as an offense. You're going to have guys like Cole Kmet unless you get those short yardage situations.
Let me play devil's advocate with you because, in my opinion, and I agree with you because you need Cole Kmet to take not just the next step. You need him to be the step. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is if Andy Dalton is your starter, I feel Jimmy Graham has to play to make him more comfortable.
I mean, he did last year, JB. I mean, in those goal line situations, he's going to be his best friend because you're going to run those 2 tight end sets where, either one of those guys can be there to get the ball. But I think Kmet's taking that leap a lot quicker than you guys want to give him credit for.
And that's what I said. I'm looking positively, glass half full.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at what I've seen. I watched Cowboys. Shout out to Curtis Clay because I watched the Cowboys with him. That's his favorite team. But before Blake Jarwin got hurt, like he was staring down Blake Jarwin. And then he was staring down Schultz. Like Andy Dalton, if he doesn't have the guaranteed wide open on the outside, he goes straight to the tight end.
Yeah. And that's why I was on another podcast the other day saying, who's your breakout guys? And for me, there's a flip-flop between a couple depending on situation, but I'm telling you, Cole Kmet's going to be right there. It's going to be Kmet, I can't talk. It's going to be Kmet, Mooney, and Montgomery. Those 3. You can flip-flop the order all you want, but with this offense, it's a Kansas City type offense, and just like you said, JB, having Andy Dalton, who is a quick tight end guy.
Yep.
I think Komet's going to take that step. I really do.
I hope so, because like I said, Notre Dame kid, favorite team and all that, call them hometown.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more here. We need 4 and he's running 7, or we need 8 and he's running 3.
I just think that's kind of rookie jitters, though.
And that's why I said I'm not dumping on him, because sometimes your quarterback has to throw you open too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Mitch and Nick just, we can talk about that till we blue in the face, but
get me started.
Right. But what I was wondering too is management gonna say, hey, we paying Jimmy a little bit of money, man, put him on the field, because that's always that should never be. If we paying you the money but you're not producing, I don't care how much you're making, put the person that's actually making the players on the field.
I think Jimmy Graham is going to be on more of a pitch count type this year. I just don't see him in with that spread offense at all. He's going to be goal line. He's going to be short yard situation.
Because he had 6 touchdowns last year, and we were kind of like, dude, you could have had like 12 if you had caught some of them jump balls.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not that guy anymore who's going to run downfield, and he's going to get that kind of stuff.
He wasn't even that dude in Green Bay.
No, he was starting to fade when he went to Seattle,
Right. He was only that dude with the Saints. That's it.
Yeah, that's when he wanted to, he the one started that.
Whenever you want a wide receiver money.
Paid as a wide receiver because I got 89 catches, 1,000 yards, 10.
He wasn't wrong, JB. He was legit in saying that.
Hey, I get it.
After that,
but again, we don't have JG. We got Jimmy Graham.
True. Wait, Jimmy Graham is JG. Oh, you mean John Gilmore?
No. When he was in the Saints, he was JG.
Oh.
He's talking about he's talking about he was to old man Jimmy Graham. That's what I call him now, old man Jimmy Graham. That's what I always call him now.
Old man
Grandpa.
Graham.
Grandpa
T.
Hey, why don't we do this real quick? Let's jump into a word from our sponsor, and then we can pick this up for a second, then get right into JB's full court press.
Maybe we let somebody else that's in the back end too.
Maybe we should just do what I just said we should do.
There was a time when high standards prevailed, when excellent craftsmanship was displayed and treated with the utmost importance. Acquire the crisp, refreshing taste of Moore's Beer. Moore's Beer. Raise your standards.
Hey, we're back.
All right.
J.I., welcome back.
Let me
J.I.,
what's happening, brother?
What's happening? Welcome back.
Terrence.
What's happening, man?
Yo.
You said Kim Mark Liquors had a new shipment of Moore's Beer. Were they able to get some?
They did. They sold out 15 cases in 24 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours.
Were you able to get one?
About it.
I was. Okay. I was able to get some, but they limited us. So they said you can only buy 2.
I got
2 packs of 4.
He's just saying that because he didn't want to.
I bought a case.
No, man, I'm serious.
I bought a case.
I'm serious. They limited us.
I'm gonna get it one of these days. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I was thinking I was at work. Terrence said
B,
I was like,
it goes down smooth. You feel it right here. And more goes down smooth.
You missed that
right here.
Yeah. We got an in-depth.
So in
depth on how exactly that Scottie Pippen bourbon goes down right here.
Oh no,
it's perfect right here.
JB, remember I told him that.
Hey, but they say the cheap stuff hit you here.
Yeah, you're right.
But back to what we're talking about. AB, can I add somebody, please, to your list of breakout players? I think Jalen Johnson turns the corner this year. I really do.
Okay.
I really do.
So I was just thinking offensive wise, but if you're looking defensively, absolutely.
I was looking at the totality of the team.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, Roquan's obvious choice, but Jalen's got something to prove. He's got to stay healthy. That's been his issue. You know, he did have some rookie mistakes, as all rookies do, but going forward, he's got to be the man now. And I think he knows that. I haven't heard him come out and really talk a lot. I'm very eager to hear about him this week, hopefully whenever he comes into camp. You know, him. Another one for me, the biggest one for me is probably Tevin Jenkins at left tackle, because you got to have a good left tackle.
Hey.
And this kid's never played left tackle.
He didn't. He was a right. He's converted.
Yeah. So that's a scary situation. But this kid seems hungry. He's ready to go after it. He's a humble dude. I just watched that rookie show with him on it, man.
Did you notice I didn't know he was that thirsty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's wide. He's big.
Yeah.
He's not as big as Larry Borum, who is the other guy on the other end that's going to be. He's going to start behind Jermaine Fetty. Most likely.
I got if Fetty might be on his way. I'm not.
I hope so. He's a man. Oh my God.
And
that dude, he loves to start
out how to make himself known there.
Huh? Oh, Diop figured it out.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Diop.
Yeah.
Hey, Diop, a smart dude, man. That's a football guy. But he ain't know what the fuck he talking about when he say Prince was good. He know what the hell he talking about.
Like Reed, exactly. And that's why I said I think Jalen Johnson, for one, you already know they're going to test the rookies until the rookie proves himself.
That's my motherfucking dude. Blake,
can I jump in for a minute? Can I jump in for a minute?
Go ahead.
Because T Nick wants to jump up and down with both feet on our one of our viewers, Diop. Some people ask how good it is or was Prince Amukamara.
Wait a minute, how I'm jumping up and down. I said that's a smart dude.
Certainly, he wasn't a playmaker. Prince Amukamara allowed only 52.4% of his passes to be caught thrown his way. He only allowed that, which ranked 19th among the same group, any other cornerback, while allowing opposing quarterbacks just a passer rating of 74.5. He was in the top 25 of the category. Now let's do the math on that really quickly. We got 32. We got 32 teams. You got 32 times 2 because you have 2 starting corners. That gives you 64. And you throw in another slot so you can add another 32 to those guys. He was in the top 25 of about 100 guys. So was he a playmaker? No. Was he what you said? He was a little bit more than to what Diop says. Definitely
and I'm gonna
not.
Stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. And this is why. When you get torched by the Packers and then turn around and kill against the Lions, your numbers are going to go back up. When you kill against the Jaguars, your numbers are going to go back up. But then he turns around and plays the Chiefs, and his numbers are right back down.
He looked foolish.
There you go. So
numbers do lie.
The elite of the elite.
Wait a minute. Numbers are extremely misleading if you don't know what they mean. But if you list 100 guys in the league and I'm in the top 25, you have to be looking to find fault with me. If you have a problem with me being ranked as the top 25 of the league, I'm not saying that. Trust me, I'm not saying, hey, let's keep this guy. We need to sign him. No, I'm not saying that. But to say that he's better than 75% of the other guys in the league, statistically. Let that sink in. All right. I said that because I was because I know Diop.
See, the tape doesn't lie.
Dude, if I beat up 15 midgets, that doesn't mean I'm a tough guy.
But guess what?
It did I fight at 6 foot and get my ass.
It's 2020. It's 2021, Terrence. You have to say the little people. What are you trying to get us canceled?
It's a podcast. We say whatever the fuck we want.
Hey,
I'll tell you. I'm
sorry. They're canceling another guy on this podcast.
J.I., I'll tell you like this. It's the ebbs and flows. If you have, and I'm just going to say some old names, right? if you have the Aeneas Williams, I'm not even talking about like the top guy, but if you have the Aeneas Williams or the Nnamdi Asomugha's that 1 year, right?
Hold on for a minute. Aeneas is Hall of Fame.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. So you just saying not the top guy.
I'm just saying, let me finish.
Okay.
Because everybody's going to say Deion, Woodson. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about that next tier. Okay. I'll even put a new guy, Patrick Peterson, a younger guy, Patrick Peterson. When you have those type of guys, right, that are making plays against the elite quarterbacks as well as the mid-level as well as the not-so-good, then you can run that stat. Because guess what? When you're an elite cornerback and you're guarding an elite wide receiver, more times than not, your stats may not be top 25 statistically with your percentages. But when you're guarding us, hell yeah, you're going to look good because you're seeing us 6 times out the year.
Agreed.
You know what? I like that.
Let me finish. But when you go up against Devontae Adams and he's doing the cha-cha on you every other play.
Twice a year.
Then you turn around and play the Giants, and Odell is catching the ball with one hand, walking backwards, looking at you like, man, go back to Nebraska. You just told me to go back to college? Really? As you're walking backwards into the end zone?
Oh, man.
Like, come on, man. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. I'm not saying the dude was complete trash, but he wasn't top of the top from the eye test.
Not by any stretch.
And he's not meant for this.
And hold on, listen. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I get the eye test, but you got to know what you're looking at. I mean, Devontae Adams, he made fools out of pretty much anybody. Like, you're talking about one of the elite receivers the last 3 years in the league. So if you, because you can't stop them, if you contain them, that's fair enough. And you know what you're supposed to do to mediocre competition, such as Detroit. You're supposed to, and that's what we did. Now, hold on, and that's why. And don't get me wrong.
Hey, so
but wait a minute.
I had a question.
But everyone has an opportunity to play, comparable competition. It's not like the Chicago Bears are world beaters, and then they're playing somebody who's beneath them. You can't say, well, this guy's a bum and you're a bum. Okay, well, so we should have a very competitive game then, since we're both bum. Well, you didn't beat anybody. Wait a minute. I thought we started off this argument with we weren't anybody. So everybody we beat is somebody to us. So if this guy's mediocre at best, everybody he faces and opposes is a challenge to him. And if you're saying he's winning 75% of those challenges and he's only mediocre, which I'm not saying he's not, I'm saying that I don't think he's great. I'm not saying that. But he's better than 75% statistically of other people.
Reason why analytics is bullshit.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. You know what? Let me tell you something that the numbers don't lie. Who scored more points the last game? The winner. That doesn't mean they played the best game. That doesn't mean that the best team doesn't always win. Sometimes the people that score the most points win. So with that being said,
how to win.
I thought that was awesome.
There you go. Say that again, AB.
The best teams figure out how to win.
Figure out how to win.
No matter what. You find that matchup. You find that kind of problem.
There you go.
What team did Prince play for last year again?
Arizona. He played for the Raiders in Arizona. He
didn't play for nobody. No, he didn't play for anybody.
He did not? He didn't get on the field?
No, he was out of the league. He was out. His last game.
He is a free agent.
29. I'm about to say, I thought he played.
Nobody signed him.
Nobody. Arizona.
If he's so good, then why did no one? Yeah, he went there, but they cut him.
Right, because I thought he was trying to get back on the Giants, is what I remember him saying. But
glamorous of seasons, but he did have his moment.
Okay.
Look at that.
Thanks, Blake.
That guy didn't even want to finish the sentence because he didn't like him.
Right.
Blake Reed. Hey, Blake, I didn't immediately come in talking. I kind of got my rhythm.
Yeah. So, all right. So Diop, we can move on, please, because no more of that. You had to vote that.
Like we stated, AB, we're gonna move Jalen Johnson into that top 5 of people to take that next step.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what the young man can do. I really am.
So let's get into shit. This is a good segue right into
like
JB's full court press.
Oh.
Here we go.
AB, hey, love that. That was dope.
Thanks, man.
Hey, so my full court press. I'm going straight to the Olympics, y'all. I'm going straight to US rebuttals, but let me get on my soapbox for about a good minute and 30 seconds. The first thing that I'm sick of hearing, right? What ifs and could haves, why this person didn't play, why this person didn't join the USA team. Okay, look, hey, Steph Curry ain't walking through that locker room. LeBron James ain't walking through that locker room. Okay, they're not coming. You have NBA All-Stars. That should be enough. You have NBA All-Stars that play with the exact same people that you're playing against. Although it's a light game, it's a separate game. I don't want to hear no more excuses. Blame the players, blame Popovich. Some of these young players are like, man, I'm tired of listening to this old dude, man. You ain't even won since I've been in the league. No respect. Then you got a bunch of players on there that are NBA All-Stars, but they moping around like they don't even want to play. Hey, look, I understand you want to rep your country, right? But you're doing your country a disservice by going out there playing lackluster, like you don't care, and you just sitting up there like it don't mean nothing. Well, guess who it means to? A bunch of millions of people that's at home draped in the stars and bars like, oh, man, again? Nobody, when they played in the NBA, nobody's afraid of Evan Fournier, man. Nobody. Lou Cabarro plays for the Nets. Y'all wouldn't even know that if I just told y'all. Nobody cares. Hey, word to the so-called dream team, which is like the scream team to me. If you don't want to be there, don't go. Just go home. Let some people that actually want to play. Hell, JaVale McGee is there now. Let him get in there and be big. You know what you can do now? In the overseas game, you can hit the ball and knock it off the rim. He can do plenty of that. Let's try to win, man. Don't represent our country lackluster. It's like that and just be over there like you don't care. Shoot, stay home. Shoot, get some of these hungry college kids that want to go over there and play. That's my full court press.
All right.
Say,
I'm with it.
it's a good first press, my friend. That's
I felt that.
I
I'm
felt
so
that.
passionate about it because, like, you got Popovich, Steve Kerr on the bench. Like, you got Hall of Fame champion coaches. You telling me you're gonna say, "Oh man, I can't relate to you," dude? You should be sitting up at that man's table with a notepad, like, "Man, teach me everything." That's not what's happening nowadays. Kevin Durant, we got to talk, man.
Yeah, we got to talk, man.
We got to talk, KD. Because I put you up here, man. You the best player in the world, KD. I need you to go ahead and bring us home, man.
I had some guys on the players' pit that were arguing about that. They were saying about how Giannis he's the best in the world right now. And I was still defending KD the same way you are, man. Like I put him on that same pedestal. But when he comes out, and I had friends kill me about it now because they're like, you're really going to take this guy who he scores what, like 16 points in a game? And you got Luka who comes in and just blows up the whole Olympics in one game, scoring like over 40. Like, he doesn't care about it. Like,
Luke, so let me say this, AB. If you all have watched years past, not just this couple of 5 games, right? When foreign NBA players go back to their country, they play like blood is on the wall.
well,
Like,
other
they
countries.
play so hard. They play so hard, right? Almost like, hey, if you don't win, like, you can't go back to the NBA. Like, you're going to be stuck here. So they take it so much more seriously than we do. And I'm not saying that everybody on the USA team doesn't take it seriously, but you can tell, man, they're going through the 76 points. And you have, first of all, you got 3 30-point game scorers on the team alone. Like, come on. Like,
they don't know how to play together. I mean, they haven't practiced well. And you're right. I don't think that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think they want to play together, JB. It's just one of those things where, in years past, they've kind of just gotten by. But now some of these other teams, the French team has 5 NBA players on it. They're not messing around.
I think Nigeria has 6.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that they had 6.
Yeah, they're not messing around anymore. These other countries have caught up to us. The style of play is not in our favor. It's not.
Australia, I think, has 4.
Yeah.
Including Dante Exum just coming back, and he's been sitting on the bench.
Yeah. But Diab on point. He stays emotional. He stays complaining. But whenever it mattered in the playoffs, he almost beat the world champs by himself. He damn near did.
If he wore a size 16 instead of a 17, that 3 ball, that's game.
Exactly. So it's a matter of want versus a matter of will, I guess, at this point, And just like you said, maybe we go give these college kids a chance again. Maybe we start thinking about the style of play that we want to play against these teams and build a team accordingly instead of just trying to group up as many all-stars as we can. Build a team. Build some cohesion, Do something like anything like that.
Act like you care.
Why don't you take a whole NBA team for that matter and throw all them like, hey, all right, say the 8, 9, 10 seed in the East or West. You all want to go play? If you don't make the playing game, you want to go play for our country.
There you go.
You're not telling me that the Grizzlies wouldn't have put up a good fight in that?
John Morant might have hit 50.
John Morant would have went crazy. And why is he not on this team? Why is Zion not playing in this game? Like, I just don't understand
Zion didn't
this.
want to play. Trae Young is still, trying to get back healthy.
Trae Young is playing in pickup game. I saw something about him the other day where he won like some pickup game or something he was playing because some guy was talking smack to him and then he just buried him. You can do that, but you can't go play for your country? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like, you can't tell me any other way than that, period. They just don't want it anymore. But don't be sitting there upset whenever some other team wins it and go, oh, I'm going to blame Greg Popovich or I'm going to do that. Blame yourselves.
Blame yourself. Hey, Michael Jackson said it best. I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Yes, sir.
And as soon as they get a dose of that truth, then they'll see. And I'm not even saying it's over because, like I said, I'm not even that upset that they lost. I'm hoping that's the thing that'll light a little fire under their tails. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, who knows?
So you all were talking about KD earlier. Well, AB, you brought up KD and how people in the players pit were talking about how KD is like the best player in the NBA. Yeah. Well, our guest that we have, he loves KD. He swears by him. Mm-hmm. I told him that Giannis is the best player in the league right now. Right now, KD might have been before.
Wait, Giannis is the best?
But hold on. Yes, he's the best in the league right now. Hold on, let me finish my point. KD is a crybaby, and he's an asshole. He is an asshole, man.
What? So was Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan was an asshole, but Jordan was a killer. And not just a killer sometimes, but Jordan was a killer without the other stars surrounding him. Jordan said the same thing that Giannis said the other day. I don't need a super team. I don't need that.
You know what he needs? Everybody else to be hurt.
Well, how about this? We bring in our guest and we let him talk his shit.
Bring this man in.
Yeah, bring him in. Thomas.
How are you?
Thomas Butler-Guerrero.
What's good with y'all? First off,
how you doing, Thomas, man? I don't know you, but I don't like you already, man.
First off, I definitely want to say that Kevin Durant is the best basketball player in the world. What's up, guys?
Oh, I'm sorry. I do like you.
Wait. Hold on. Yes, sir.
I do like you, Thomas.
Now I'll explain why. All All right, first off, his offensive flaws are the least amount visible in the game. All right, his offensive and defensive flaws are less than those of Giannis. Giannis's flaws are more glaring. Giannis is a top 3 player in the league. I got him right under LeBron still. I still got LeBron as the second best player in the NBA. We have never seen a 7-foot scorer in the history of the NBA that can do the things that Kevin Durant can do. He is a 3 and a 4. He plays both positions of the 4 position, and he can guard the 1 through 5. Not a lot of. He's a perimeter defender at that actually gets rebounds. People talk about that Kevin Durant can't rebound. He's soft and this and that. He's a perimeter defender who averages 9 rebounds a game. So I'm not trying to hear none of that. All right, there's no 7-footer in the history of the NBA that's going to be able to bring the ball up the court and pull up while shooting 50, 40, 90. Ever.
Preach, bro. Preach.
One thing I will say about Kevin Durant, people give them all slack, right? All that slack for going to Golden State. None of you in any of your lives would ever choose a job in Oklahoma City over California. None of you would. And it was always and will always be the best decision of his career. His network blew up after that. He has that Trade 5 Media Ventures now that he's with. Blew up in San Francisco, Golden State area. Now he's in New York, the #1 media market in the world. Everything that Kevin Durant did was for the betterment of his career. Every single team that he faced in the finals were actual all-time teams. All right, he lost to the Heatles, right? They lost to the Heatles, and then they lost to this year's Bucks. I do agree with your point. If he wears a size 16 shoe, he makes a shot. But we haven't seen somebody go off like Kevin Durant went off in that Game 7. People talk about the entire NBA narrative would have switched and changed to negatively to Giannis if Kevin Durant hits that shot. If that shot is counted as a 3-pointer, they would have blamed everybody. The whole NBA narrative in the media would have blamed Giannis. But since he didn't hit that shot, and since the Bucks wound up winning the NBA championship, now Giannis is cemented as one of the top players in the league. He is up there as one of the top players in the NBA, but I don't think he's #1 just yet.
I'm glad you took a breath in there, man. I didn't think you were going to for a minute. You went off.
Butler-Guerrero, man, I like you.
Preach, sir. Yes. 100%.
Hey, I love this guy. He's a physically fit guy.
Good looks.
So Thomas is a sports writer. For who are you a sports writer for, Thomas?
I just started a new writing venture with Pickswise. Sports betting. I'm an MLB writer for Pickswise.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. Congrats.
A Gary native.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I stay out here in Indianapolis now. All of you guys are from the city.
Yeah, I have my sister. Shout out to my sister. She lives in Indianapolis.
All right, go. Hey, I'm making a venture down to Indianapolis. Love Indianapolis. Well,
so let me ask you a question, Thomas, because this is gonna bother me. This is gonna bother me because I see Terrence he brewing, man. He got something brewing.
That's what Blake said too in the chat. He said,
Blake said, okay.
He said
I ain't got shit to say.
Here's my thing. Always got something to say.
You play who you play. Whoever, Bears sacked Aaron Rodgers one time, put him out. We put the Packers out their misery. Okay, you play who you got to play. I get that, but we all know, like you stated, if James Harden, I'm not even talking about Kyrie. If James Harden was the real James Harden, we're not talking about Giannis winning the championship. We're really not. If Trae Young doesn't get hurt, hell, I really don't know if Atlanta doesn't go. I honestly don't know. But what Giannis did do is what he was supposed to do. When he went against a lineup that had one big, and when that one big was either overmatched or in foul trouble, he dominated the lesser competition, which is what you're supposed to do. Does that make you greater than certain players? In my opinion, no. Like if I'm guarding Shaq and Shaq has 50 on me, well, damn it, he's supposed to. So I'm not saying Giannis is not great, but I can't say he's the greatest player in the league right now. Absolutely not. Like you said, too many flaws in this game. First and foremost, I don't even talk about the free throws. Just the ability to hit a consistent mid-range jumper, of which we've seen Karl Malone. We've seen Larry Johnson. Buck Williams, great power forwards of the past, be able to hit that 15 to 18-foot jumper with consistency. Charles Barkley. Giannis can't do that. Hell, Giannis can't really shoot free throws on the road. When you can arguably say those are the most important. Free throws on the road. Free throws at home, you might get a little home cooking. You might go to the line a couple more times. But free throws on the road, that's what separates the men from the boys. When they chanting 1, 2, 3, come on, man. When have you ever seen somebody get a countdown?
No, I hear you completely. But I will say that if the worst part about Giannis's game is his free throws, then that is fine if he's a two-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Giannis is one of the most unstoppable offensive forces, especially as a big man, that the NBA has ever seen. Not too many NBA, and all he really does is HB dive every play, which is incredible. I will give you 5 specific reasons why the Brooklyn Nets weren't in the NBA Finals, okay? First off, Steve Nash definitely should have been coaching against the Phoenix Suns in his first NBA Finals. Reason number 1, they trade Jared Allen to Cleveland for absolutely nothing. Andre Drummond ended up getting out of his contract and going to LA anyway. They could have got Andre Drummond for Jared Allen. They were going to get rid of him. He was on a 1-year deal. They could have used him for his last year. He ended up sliding to LA anyway after the fact. Secondly, we give up Karis LeVert. Not we. I'll be objective here. Secondly, they give up Karis LeVert to Indianapolis for nothing. Nothing came back, right? We get James Harden in the deal. Joe Harris. So reason number 3, Joe Harris and James Harden were obviously liabilities in that second round of the series. Number 4, Kyrie got hurt. So you're talking about Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Joe Harris, all contributing to the reason why the Nets weren't able to make it as far as they could. Kevin Durant did
talk one more name for you. Don't forget about the loss of Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah,
that was my 5th point. I was going to say my 5th point was going to say that Spencer Dinwiddie was our 6th man and missed the entire season on a contract year. Year. So definitely going to be on.
Absolutely, bro. Talk, preach.
No, I hear you. So with the second round of the NBA playoffs, I'll say, is that the Brooklyn Nets lost to the superior team. Yes, when all healthy, the Brooklyn Nets are the superior team to the Milwaukee Bucks, but we weren't going to be sitting up here and saying that the Milwaukee Bucks would have beat them without Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, right?
No,
we're talking that the Brooklyn Nets were playing without Kyrie Irving and mostly James Harden, the real James Harden.
I mean, Chris Middleton went off quite a bit in those series, man. And, he did have some down games here and there, but just like you said, without Chris Middleton, they're not winning that title. But nobody's going to talk about that because all they want to talk about is what Giannis is going to do. Same thing with KD, what he didn't do. It's the same concept, man.
I can even add LaMarcus Aldridge to that list of names that why the Brooklyn Nets didn't make it far. LaMarcus Aldridge going down extremely hurt them, especially with the series against Milwaukee.
I agree. What about you, T? Anything?
I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. I don't know motherfucking thing. All I do know is Giannis is the best player in the NBA right now.
He's not.
Okay.
His offensive flaws are more noticeable than those of Kevin Durant.
Is he top 5? Is he really top 5?
Yeah, he's 3. He's 3, right behind LeBron.
Is he 3?
Yes, for sure.
I'll take a healthy Kawhi. I'll take a healthy Kawhi before I take Giannis.
I got Kawhi and Steph at 4 and 5.
I'll definitely take a healthy James Harden over Giannis. Absolutely.
No, you won't.
That dude's something different.
That's where we're going to have to disagree. I mean, he had a hot playoff. He had a hot finals.
You're talking about the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
nine times out of 10. Player of the Year last year. Rudy Gobert was Defensive Player of the Year
this year.
Yeah, I'm just saying the disparities between Giannis and James Harden are night and day.
Defensively, yes, but there's also 2 different positions. I'll tell you right now, I don't know if I'll take Giannis over a healthy Anthony Davis. I really don't.
I said I would take Anthony Davis number 3, like right behind LeBron and Kevin Durant at the start of last year, but his injuries have derailed him. So I'll definitely put him like lower in the top, probably outside of the top 5 now, behind Kawhi.
But you can't just like if Tom Brady gets hurt, you don't make him not number 1. You don't make him 15.
Yeah, but that's compared to Giannis, who just won MVP or who won Finals MVP.
Yeah. So should we start considering injuries as a part of these guys' greatness or not? Like should we exclude that? Like say, oh well, he was hurt, but he's still top 5. Why don't we start incorporating that with our picks on these top 5s? Like I see a lot of people just saying a lot of times like, oh well, I would have him in my top 5, but he can't stay healthy. You shouldn't be in your top 5 if you're not available.
Now wait, AB, you about to make a lot of folks mad because now you have to drop LeBron.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to get to.
Oh, come on. You already know. I'm me and you.
You know exactly where I was going. Because you said you've got LeBron number 2, and before this season, yeah, you could probably put him in that. But man, he was hurt a lot this year. He's showing his age now. LeBron, I don't think I would put him in that top 2 anymore because of his availability, especially in the playoffs. You got to look at some of these new guys like Luka Doncic, like Giannis was healthy this whole time. So you got to put him in that whole consideration because he could have went out after that injury he had in the Atlanta series, right?
Yeah, hyperextended of a knee.
Yeah.
For a big
nasty ass injury.
That's a big deal.
Masteries. Injuries happen to everybody, yeah. But at the end of the day, man, that availability should be a part of this ranking, in my opinion, always. Because if you're not out there, you shouldn't even be in the consideration. Michael Jordan only missed 1 big season, right? He wasn't out that much. That's why he's the GOAT, though.
He had to actually break something.
Yeah,
right.
Like he had to break something.
That was like 1985, 84.
It was his second year, like game
yeah.
9 or 10 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
He broke his foot.
When considering to compare players, I really just look at who's the better offensive player, then who's the better defensive player, and then if it's tied between that, I'll just look at who I want for a 7-game series. In my opinion, that's Kevin Durant, LeBron, then Giannis, Kawhi, and then Steph. I think that's clear cut.
So,
but you said offensively, right?
Offensively and defensively, yeah.
Yeah, he said both.
I was about to say because if you put offense as a criteria, you have to say James Harden. Like he's nothing but offense. He's
Luka more talented than Giannis. Oh, come on,
25
man.
and 10.
Come on, man.
He can shoot better.
Y'all forgot James Harden league in assists one year.
He can.
Points 11 assists.
James Harden can pass the ball pretty well too. Yeah, you're right.
He's actually a point guard.
I was actually rolling with him as soon as he went to the Nets. I was winning big money just betting on him getting assists every game.
Watch this.
He was the key to their team. He was definitely the key to the Brooklyn.
I'm gonna do y'all this one thing. If you ever play fantasy basketball, pick up James Harden because out of the 13 measured categories, he does everything but block.
Yeah.
He gets a point in each category except blocks.
Yeah, agree.
All right,
J.I. over there, man.
I think J.I. fell asleep.
I think he's sleeping. He
That's
looks
what
like
my mom said.
I'm far from sleep.
He's still not talking. I was like, you talk?
Sorry. What did Bullet say? I missed it.
Wait a minute. You guys can't hear me?
He said that Durant stays in OKC. He never gets a chip. 8 seasons with him, couldn't get a win. Well,
come on,
okay.
now, you can say that same thing about LeBron James in Cleveland if he never leaves Cleveland. Him leaving Cleveland was the biggest reason why Cleveland blew up. They got Kyrie Irving, Andrew Wiggins, like top picks. As soon as he left, they were the bottom of the barrel. As soon as he left Cleveland, they were able to get those number 1 picks, which enabled them to get Kevin Love.
Agreed, but
100%.
I have to play devil's advocate because that OKC team kind of was a big 3.
Yeah, but that wasn't a manifested big 3 from.
No, it was a draft. All of them were drafted.
Big 3.
And that's why I said it's a little different.
What's wrong with that?
No, it's great. But I'm saying if they had a stuck together, the question was he was there for 8 seasons and still didn't win. If they keep James Harden
instead of Westbrook,
they might win.
Kevin Durant owed nothing to OKC. He was drafted by Seattle, and then they changed spots as like after his first year there. After his first year there, he averaged 20 points a game, and then they up and leave Seattle to Oklahoma City. Again, nobody in the history of the world would choose their job in Oklahoma City over to go to California.
No, that's not what we're saying.
If my job paid me tens of millions of dollars, I'd go tomorrow.
Right, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. I'm sorry, the statement. The statement was Kevin Durant was in OKC for 8 years and never won a title. What I was saying is, if they had kept James Harden, they might have won a title.
You would have had him, Ibaka. You
had a big four.
You'd have had a good team, man.
But again, he owed nothing to OKC because they ended up trading Russell Westbrook anyway. You can say what you want about KD leaving.
No, we're not trying. Thomas, we're not saying he owes them anything. No. We're not even those type of guys.
No, I'm saying based on the assumption that he hadn't won. Based on the assumption that he hadn't won in the 8 seasons that he was there, right? Like that wasn't with MVP Westbrook. That wasn't with MVP Harden. They were playing completely different roles then. They were 20.
Agreed.
21 years old. Yeah.
Agreed. All we're saying is, had they stayed and matured together, we don't know what could have happened.
For sure.
And remember, it took. I'm an MJ fan, but it took for Scotty and Horace to mature. You know what I'm saying? Before Mike got over that hump too.
Well, JB, can I say this? And I mean, I don't want to take it out of context, but players weren't as free to move around then. So you had to kind of like sink in and make good then. Like I would have never done that back in the day. You weren't allowed to do it back then.
That is the biggest farce. That is not true. Player movement was allowed. Think about it like this. How the hell does the Dallas Mavericks let Mark Aguirre go to the Detroit Pistons?
He goes to the Detroit Pistons because Isaiah Thomas really lobbied for him. But
knowing what you know, hell no, you ain't getting Mark Aguirre. I'm keeping him.
Didn't they leave
Detroit and goes to Denver? Man, certain people I'm just keeping. But I'm saying the free agent, you always had a choice whether you wanted to sign on that dotted line or not. Scottie Pippen signed
right,
4 years.
But there's a difference here, JB. So you're right, JB. But the difference is that the style, that the players' mentality was different. So back then, it was fashionable for people always to stay with the team that was drafted so they could build something there. This new generation comes up, thinks completely differently, and just wants to team up because all they've done is played AU basketball together.
And that's all AU is top of the top.
And they said, as soon as they get to the NBA, we can join forces and just, kick the shit out of the league. That's the difference, man.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. In every single sport,
it's bullshit, man. It's bullshit.
Saying that there's nothing wrong with it is exactly why people are freaking killing, LeBron for leaving, running, and getting a super team. That's why they hate him now. Nobody hated him. Nobody hated LeBron whenever he first got on the Cavs team. You can't tell me one person hated him whenever he went to those finals. Everybody loved him.
He started to get a lot of love when he did that thing against Detroit. I think it was like 20, 23, 27 points.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the fourth quarter. LeBron started to ascend.
Yeah. Everybody
but they were still burning his jerseys. My point was
after he left.
They were burning his jerseys because he left Cleveland.
That's why. Exactly.
That's exactly why.
So there's no sport other than in the NBA that people care about super teams. Nobody in MLB cares about super teams. Nobody in the NFL cares about super teams.
Wait, stop right there.
I thought we were talking about the NBA. What the fuck? We talking about all this other shit for?
Have you ever watched the Yankees games from 1995 to now?
Teams in general. Why is it?
Did you watch the Dodgers 2 years ago? It's nothing but a super team.
And nobody bashed them like they do these NBA teams. Nobody bashed them like they did the Warriors. For going to get that title?
We must not be in the same chat because I see people kill them all the time.
I see people kill them too. And here's the thing. There was something, and I hate to group everybody, but there was something back in the day about competition. There was no, if I can't beat you, join you. It's, I'm going to do everything I can until I can't. And that's why I said a lot of the things now when money is a situation, location, family, and all that. Charles Barkley is one of my favorite players. Charles Barkley wasn't never going to win in Philly, so I understand why he went to Phoenix. I understand.
Yeah, because he was going to win there.
They had a solid team there.
They had an all-star, two all-stars.
Like what Kevin Johnson was there. They had
but I'm saying, like, let's not act like a player hasn't chosen to go elsewhere in the olden days, but they stuck it out a lot longer till they was like, man, it's nothing I can do.
Right. It was just more
nowadays people jump ship so quick. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all, and this is the thing. And J.I., you can relate with the flag football. What's the point of clicking up? You can't do it on your own.
Winning. No, I can't. Winning. You know what? Let me tell you this. Hold on.
At the cost of their own legacy.
There you go.
I'm trying to. What legacy does Charles Barkley have? He's arguably one of the best players ever, but never mentioned in that. Some guys don't even know he ever played the game because he hasn't won any championships. Championships define your legacy. So if I have to go someplace that we wouldn't be talking about KD in the same light. We wouldn't even be talking about Giannis in that same light right now had they not won. So the truth of the matter is legacy, championships for whatever reason, and I'm saying that tongue in cheek, they're very overrated. They make you have a legacy. Other than that, you'll be Charles Barkley. I don't care what the argument is. Charles and Shaq get into it. It could be about grocery. It could be about a movie. Shaq is going to bring up the fact that you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't won anything. That's okay. It always comes down to that.
That's fugazi, bro.
That's what he sound like.
That's fugazi, bro. Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's my shame.
Robert Horry
you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know nothing about these.
No, check it out. Robert Horry has 7 rings. And I dare a person to say that Robert Horry is better than Charles Barkley. Come on, bro. Don't do that.
Hold on.
Bill Russell's got 10, but a lot of people don't put him in that category because guess what? Whenever he plays,
the reason you even know who Robert Horry is because he has
Exactly.
Nobody
the fact that you even know who Robert Horry is because of his rings. No, they don't.
Wait, you sure you want to go down that alley? You sure you want to go down that street?
How many people remember Horry over Charles Barkley right now?
Only because of that's it.
Oh, wait.
Only because of the rings. Wait a minute.
Nobody even talks about Robert Horry.
Let me break in the action real
Barkley
quick.
is in the media every day. He's on TNT. People talk about him constantly. Nobody ever talks about Robert Horry.
Let me break in the action real quick because we're gonna let our guests go. But before you go,
can you do what you did last time? Get rid of this.
Before you go, get rid of J.I. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. He gotta go. Thomas, before you go, man, where can we find your work at? Where can we hook up with you on social media?
So you can follow me and subscribe to my picks on pickswise.tv/TBG. I'm official.tbg on Instagram, tbg.official on Twitter, and then Thomas Butler-Guerrero on Facebook. You can subscribe to my podcast, the On Air Mobcast, on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all podcast platforms.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Dope. Okay.
Let's keep correspondence with each other, man. I love your energy and your insight, brother.
Good looks.
Most deaf.
You got the best out of us today, man. You got us so riled up.
Didn't he poke the bear?
I loved it, man. I loved it. It's great.
Hey, I love it. He got me talking basketball.
Have me back on sometime. I would love to be able to talk sports with you guys.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Oh, hey, we'll get you to talk about the Bears too, but you talk about the Colts, so that's when we got to cut you off.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. Actually, I'm a Cowboys.
We definitely gonna cut your ass off. We definitely gonna cut your ass off. You talk about the Cowboys.
I knew I liked this guy.
Oh man, come on.
I thought we were cutting J.I. off.
I'm about ready to now.
Get rid of his ass.
He don't even like Dakota Rain.
That Scottie Pippen liquor got him angry. He's an ornery little. He's a mean drunk.
I bet this mean drunk about to cut your ass off. Hey, Thomas, appreciate you, bro.
Thanks.
All right, good looks.
All right, take care, man.
Hey, T, let me find out this is all about that $12 sandwich, man.
Go get it.
He been hating on my sandwich forever.
On that, please.
Let me find out it's about that $12 Swiss on rye.
Oh, man.
This motherfucker here.
Dagwood.
Oh.
Hey, but I would like to
hey,
real quick, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean,
I was like, AB told T Nick earlier, like, hey, ease up on that, man. You're not gonna be able to maintain for the second show.
I did.
T Nick been knocking down that Scottie Pippen smooth bourbon all day.
Well, it ain't that smooth.
That bottle's gone, isn't it?
This shit ain't got nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you.
Oh no! Oh no!
We gonna have to tell Scotty to get some better.
That might be the best commercial. Hey, that might be the best commercial of Scottie Pippen stuff. You got me wondering about it now.
You got me fucked up, Scotty.
Scotty would have me fucked up. You got a lot of people fucked up.
Hey.
Well, he ran this house for Airbnb. He must need some money.
Shit. Hey man, is there any traction with this Derrick Rose shit? Derrick Rose signing with Chicago? Anything really?
It's rumored, but let me give you a little insight, right? Because what we touched on a couple of weeks ago was that there was interest, and I reached out to him. He didn't respond, but Pat Beverly was the person that they was more interested in coming here. But the Bulls are still holding their hat on Lonzo, and I'm glad you said that because I want to segue real quick. Everybody knows that the NBA draft is Thursday, and the Bulls are in a terrible position with the 38th pick.
They don't have no first round.
They notorious for like messing that up. But the reason that I say, because they got a lot of people with some dead money on the books that they need to get rid of. Denzel Valentine, excuse me, my Michigan State alum. I hate to talk about our own, but Denzel, Alfred Aminu, Laurie Markkinen. Like, it's a couple of guys that really need to just skedaddle. But
just go.
The Bulls right now are what my mother used to say, oh, you in between a rock and a hard place now, right? The problem being is this. With the 38th pick, they're rumored to get, I don't know if you guys know these guys, but Kessler Edwards, who was a 6'8" forward out of Pepperdine. He kind of reminds you of the guy we had from Boise State a couple years ago that we traded. Same type of player.
Who?
Or Kessler Edwards, he's from Pepperdine, West Coast.
No, I'm saying who you say that he
remember, I can't think of his name. He was number 15. We got him from Boise State, small forward a couple years back. I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. I'm sorry, guys. If somebody, AB, if you can help me out real quick, he was number 15.
Looking up something else, but hold on a minute. What'd you say?
The Bulls drafted a guy from Boise State a couple years ago, 6'7", 6'8" forward. So Kessler Edwards is like that same guy over again from Pepperdine. Kessler Edwards is from Pepperdine. He's the Bulls pick that they're looking at. And they're also looking at a guard, a 6'4" shooting guard, which Chandler
Hutchinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chandler talking about Chandler.
Yeah. So again, you drafting the guy. But I'm saying you draft like with Kessler Edwards, you're drafting the same guy. Like,
I've actually heard that they were looking at Davion Mitchell out of Baylor.
Davion Mitchell gonna be gone. What you're looking at is another 6'4" guard in that Ben Gordon mold. Guy by the name of Josh Christopher, right?
Okay.
Josh, I like Simonovic. Yes, I do, Blake, but he might be gone. Yeah. He shoot the lights out. But Josh Christopher, they like him because with the Bulls right now, they like mid-range guards, but they like lengthy. So like dude 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. So
I'd still be going to kind of draft a point guard though, JB. Would you, like, just in case you don't land that big fish?
But that's why I said I feel that something's brewing between that Pat Beverly, Lonzo Ball type deal. There's also talk. I don't know if you guys have been following. Usai Ujiri is taking calls for Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam as well.
Okay.
Kyle Lowry can come and give instant credibility to the Bulls, offensively and defensively.
See, I was thinking about one guy. I had this podcast on, another network that we talked about. What about like TJ McConnell?
As your starter, though, we're looking at your starter.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this. What's the difference between TJ McConnell and Ryan Diacono?
I think that he's just better defensively, maybe, but I can't answer that.
If they're one and the same, because if they were
one and the same, their stats and look for real. I don't know their stats, but
not just the stats, but the eye test the gameplay.
Yeah.
One is Villanova, one Syracuse. So check it out. If the Bulls right now don't get rid of Lauri Markkanen, they're not going to get the point guard that they really need. You have to trade something to get something, because in my heart of hearts, I could be wrong. I do not think that Lonzo Ball willingly, unless it's a sign and trade, I don't think he willingly comes to Chicago when they want him in New York. I just don't see it.
Okay.
So assuming that we do get a point guard, what's that mean for Kobe White?
I would put Kobe White as my sixth man. Kobe can he got a lot of intangibles as far as being that Lou Williams role.
Wouldn't think to put him on like the 2 guard and move.
He has to be the 2 right? Over. He's not a starting point. He can be the 2, but one of his most glaring attributes is the man shoots 90% from the free throw line,
like a Ben Gordon type.
Like a Ben Gordon, like just literally play downhill.
Just in that aspect, though.
Play downhill, get to the line.
Makes sense, yeah.
Lou Williams has one of the most vaunted careers as a 6 man.
And I kind of feel like that's the way that he's
guard. And Thomas I keep calling him Thomas. Tomas Satoransky ended up being a point guard.
Wow.
So it's 2 glaring holes. You have to, and every time, and I'm sorry, I'm a basketball guy, but every time Lauri Markkanen goes to the bench, and you bring in whoever at the 3 and Patrick Williams goes to the 4, you're not maximizing Patrick Williams' potential. He's got the most unimpressive 9 points ever next to Lauri Markkanen's most unimpressive 13. And Lauri shoots 40% from the 3. But those 13 points are so meaningless because they're like in garbage time mostly.
So I got kind of a weird thing going on here. I looked up Lonzo Ball's stats as opposed to Kobe White's stats last season alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for Kobe White, he's got 15 points a game.
Right.
He shoots basically 36%. He gets 4 rebounds a game, 4.8 assists a game, like half a steal. And when you look at Lonzo, he's got 14.6 points a game, 37% from 3, 4.8 rebounds a game, 5.7 assists per game, and 1.5 steals.
He's in a tougher division.
They're not that far off of each other.
Right. But the point is, now scroll over to turnovers.
Blake said they should keep Thies. I like him.
Tice. Yeah.
I like Tice.
You get rid of Felicio, you keep Tice. But
I like that. Felicio, why is he even still in the NBA?
He's not.
Why is he still on the team?
Now. He's not now because you want to know why? His name is Gar Foreman. That's why.
There you go.
Because Gar Foreman and John Paxson thought that they had something secret with that guy, and he just flopped. Sometimes it happens. He shelled out for a little bit. He flopped. But so.
You know who they treated him like to me? Do you remember the guy we drafted, the 7-foot guy, when we had Noah, and we ended up trading him to New Orleans?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
They thought he was going to be him. I can't think of his name, too, because he was going to be good. Oh, number 3.
So that turnover is last year. I got Lonzo had 2.6. Lonzo had he had 2.2. And Kobe had 2.3.
So they wasn't what
per game. They were a tenth off of each other.
They like literally wasn't.
So
what?
I mean, whenever Vucevic came, it seemed like that really helped Kobe a lot. You know, like playing that position the true way, having a big to throw off to. You know, I feel like, do they really need Lonzo Ball?
That's the thing, because see, if you look at the Bulls statistics, Kobe was the third leading scorer on the team.
Yeah,
third.
Yeah,
led in free throw percentage. Like I said, I think he was fourth in 3-point percentage shooting. But my point is, for some reason, they look at Lonzo running the right.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more geared to him as opposed to Kobe. Now, here's the thing. Anybody that watches basketball knows that anybody that runs up and down in transition, hell, you're not looking to pass the ball. You're looking to score. And in Billy Donovan's offense, like I told people before, when you run a Billy Donovan wide open motion offense, you get more transition buckets than you do half-court set buckets. Kobe thrives in that. Lonzo, however, thrives in the half court. He can stop, and they consider him a defensive point guard. That's why I say they take it off. But if you look again at what the Bulls have, point guard, you don't need a point guard that's going to give you more or less production than Kobe or Alonzo could give you. If you could tighten up Kobe at the point guard position and keep him, by all means do it. But what you can't do is you can't keep surrounding them with lackluster play at the 3 and 4 position, because that's what's really killing them.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Vooch, nobody averaged double-digit rebounds. Nobody. When Vooch was in Orlando and they didn't have, and what's the name was starting, nobody averaged double-digit rebounds. Everybody was 5. I think Thaddeus Young led the team at 6.2. Daniel Gafford was on his way, but Daniel Gafford he'd play well, play okay, then DNP.
Yeah.
Then they moved Patrick Williams to the 4, and he's totally lost.
Yeah, he shouldn't be a 4.
Diop said so many people think Kobe is a 6 man. Why is that?
Because he plays like a 6 man.
Because he ain't no starter.
He's a downhill scorer. He's a I mean, and that's not bad.
He's not a 2-point guard.
NBA, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
I mean, like, come on, guys. The man was the third leading scorer on the team. He averaged 15 points a game.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't bad. And again, like I keep telling people, do not underestimate his free throw shooting ability. 90% him shooting free throws is the reason why they won a lot of the games they did down the stretch. And they didn't win many. Zach LaVine was close to being a 40, 50, 90 guy, but he needed to tighten up.
No, Terrence, don't even go there. You don't need to go there, Terrence.
What is this shit, man?
You don't need to go there. Let's just ignore that. Keep going. We had some ignorant comments, guys, in the chat from some random guy, so I wouldn't worry about it. Let's just move on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not worth talking about. It's normal. Ignorant people in an ignorant world sometimes, guys. You're going to have that. But anyway.
Straight shooter. Whoever you are, come see me. Come see me, motherfucker.
Hey,
why don't we just get to Erica now?
All right, yeah. Let's go to Erica. Let's go to the shot report. How do we do this shit?
Hi, Erica.
Hello, guys.
Sorry about that horrible entrance. We just had some pretty nasty.
That's
Erica.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a minute. Erica.
I see it too. I see it too.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, so
I'm gonna jump out, take care of this guy.
Let's get on the shy. So this episode, it had a lot of little tidbits in it. I'm gonna get to the major things first, and then we can do the tidbits later. So in the beginning, you have Duda and Trig talking in Duda's office, and so they're discussing Jake at first, and Duda's talking about how he never really had a family, and he's trying to see, you know, can he still be a part of Jake's life? And that's the closest thing he had to a son. And Trig is like, but he's not your son. And pretty much like, thanks for what you've done, but you know, we're good now. And then Duda's like, his life flashed before his eyes when he got shot, and he's a good person and things like that, which, you know, that's open for debate. But this is what he's saying he feels about himself. So now Marcus, that's Gemma's dad, comes into the office, and he's talking about how they lost the bid for the Olympics. And Duda is pretty much like, and you know, I don't really care about that. That would have given me more of a headache anyway, you know. And but Marcus is really upset with it. And we have seen them have like a sort of tension in their relationship, and we've discussed that and talked about that before. But this is important that they have that type of disagreement in the office. And we'll get into why that's important later on. But basically, Duda ends up telling him like, get the F out or get out my office. And then what I thought was funny is Marcus is like, F you, Otis. And I guess that's like going back to when Marcus was trying to act like Duda wouldn't have been where he's at without him. And it's kind of like an homage to the Temptations movie when, you know, he's like, nobody's coming to see you, Otis, you know, like that. Like I'm the star or whatever. So after that, Trig tries to go out and talk to Marcus about stuff in the community. And Marcus is telling him like, Duda doesn't care about the community. If it's anything you need to keep from the community, is him or whatever. So then Trig is like, well, forget you then. He goes back in and starts talking to Duda about the community. And, you know, Duda's like, he can try to do more or whatever. And he says like he wants to add Trig to his administration. Okay. So that's that part. And we'll get back to some other things with that later. So also you see Darnell, Emmett's dad, going over to see Jada, you know, since she's sick or whatever. And that's kind of cute because they're kind of like reminiscing about their old times and how they used to be together. Like, remember when we were young? And they're cracking jokes about how they're both dating young people now and this, that, and the other. And he ends up cooking for her. And then Emmett comes over later. And so they have like this family dinner or whatever. And they're thinking like, when was the last time we all sat down and ate, you know, and this, that, and the other. And so that was kind of nice to see. And it kind of relates to, in the beginning, Emmett was going to see one of his other kids that, you know, miraculously has reappeared. Because remember, in the beginning of the whole show, he supposedly had all these kids, but we've never seen or heard anything about them since then until now. So he's at this other baby mama house, and they're actually having a discussion about Tiff. And I think maybe in this episode, they were trying to build upon like families don't have to be broken, even if parents are not together, or even if it was some ratchet stuff in the past, you know, you can still reunite and be a family outside of a living unit family like that. And I think that's a good message because now all you hear about is, I hate my baby mama. I can't stand my baby daddy. Forget him. And, you know, just chaos. So I thought that was like that's one of those little tidbits that was like thrown in that I was saying this episode had a lot of. So Kevin, I think, is sort of starting to, he's still hurt behind Jake and Gemma, but now, you know, he's been talking to the young lady that he plays the video games with. And in this episode, they actually link up and crash the school dance. And she's thinking, you know, he's just some bogus dude like most of the dudes that she meets. And he just wants to go there to spy on them or whatever. But really, he was like, you know, kind of just wanting to spend some time with her or whatever. And so, you know, that made her feel, I guess, more special because her household life is kind of broken. She stays with her brother because her mother, I think, is on drugs or something's going on with her mother. And so she stays with her brother and his girl is shady, doesn't care about her or whatever. So Jake and Kevin are pretty much back cool. And so Jake is taking Gemma to the dance, and so they're at her house, and Trig is taking pictures and stuff like that. All of a sudden, Duda shows up. Now remember, Duda and Marcus had this disagreement earlier, so it's still kind of like, you know, don't really want to be around you, but he's there because he wants to see Jake off, because like he said earlier, he's trying to play more of a role in Jake's life again. So they're taking pictures and stuff like that. Jake and Gemma leave. So while they are at the dance, Marcus and Duda get into it. Trig goes outside. He's like on his phone or something. So Marcus and Duda are talking, and Marcus is asking him, like, if the police hadn't come for Jake, would you have still been adamant about defunding them and stuff like that? And Duda's like, yeah. And Marcus is like, I'm saying, I saw the video. All he had to do was show his ID. So now this is pissing Duda off. And Duda's like, he didn't have to do shit or whatever. And Marcus is like, well, just make sure he stays away from my daughter. And so Duda is like, last I checked, it was your daughter that was running around screwing everybody. So Marcus punches Duda. He's like, you're not going to disrespect me in my house. Punches Duda. Duda pops him in the face with the cane and just snaps. I mean, he's just going all in. Like, he's just like wailing on him, beating him, right? So now Trig hears this, runs back in, and he's looking like, Duda, like, what happened? And Duda's just sitting back there in the chair, like, you know, oh well. And so Trig is like, you lucky he's still breathing. He pulls out his phone, and Duda's like, who you calling, the police? And Trig is like, I can't just let him die. And Duda's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, right.
Let that nigga die. Actually, he said, let that MFer die, right? He's like, let him die. And so now Trig don't know what to do, because he's like, dude, he has a daughter and this, that, and the other. And dude is just like, should have thought about that before he came for me. Basically, like, that's it, that's all. But Trig, I guess he kind of knows, like, well, if I call the police and all of that, then now it's a bounty on my head, you know, from Duda. So he's kind of like in a bad position. At this time, also, Jake realizes he left his bag with some weed in it at Gemma's house. So Gemma's like, we got to go get the bag. And so Jake is like, you go get it. And Gemma's like, no, you go get it. So, of course, Jake walks in while Trig is right there with Marcus's bloody head in his hands. And so Jake is looking like, what the fuck did y'all do, right? And so Trig is like, it's not what it looks like, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean, because it is what it looked like. The dude is dying. Like, Jake runs out, but he does not tell Gemma what happened. And Gemma's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he's like, nothing. They go to a hotel, and she tries to get up on him, and he's like, I'm straight, nothing. So he's clearly not playing this off well. So something's clearly wrong, you know, but he won't tell her what happened or whatever. To me, that's like the major, you know, meat and potatoes of this whole episode. But also inside of that, Emmett is looking at houses, and he asked Keisha to go with him and look at a house. And this is once again going back to something I think you said, J.I., about how their relationship is like a little too close for comfort. So now you see her, him, and the baby, and they're going to look at this house and all of that stuff. And I'm like, how would your wife feel about that? You don't ask her to go look at the house, but you asking Keisha to go look at this house and her baby.
But his wife fucking other dudes though.
This is true. And he's trying to, and Emmett is still trying to deal with that, because that's what Emmett was talking to his baby mama about. That situation. But remember, he doesn't want it like that anymore. Because last episode he told her, if you want to stay open, I don't know if I want to be married to you anymore. But Tiff wasn't in this episode, so we still don't know what's going on with that. And we still don't know anything about Nina and Dre. They still haven't gotten back to that after Nina told Dre that she cheated.
Tabitha came back.
Yes, I was going to get to that. Terrence, you got your wish, okay? Tabitha came back, okay? And as you can see, Tabitha is okay with her wanting her baby back, and she even brought her a whole bunch of things that she had bought for the baby. And she felt like, well, I'll give them to Keisha because I don't need them anymore. And, they had a heart-to-heart, and Keisha apologized, I guess for, kind of reneging on the baby exchange. And Tabitha, in her nice fashion was like, that's okay, this, that, and the other. And was telling her, don't be shook up, because, right, they went to see the house, and the lady that was showing the house was talking to Keisha like, oh, it's you, and was saying like, what she's doing and how she's gotten on with her life is good for other young people to see, so that, if something bad happens, you could still, live your life or whatever. And Keisha's like, but I don't want to be anybody's model, anything or whatever. And Tabitha is like, well, just because she puts you there, she said something like, just because somebody puts you on a pedestal doesn't mean you have to keep yourself there, or something like that. Like, she can look at you that way if she wants to, and maybe other people might as well, but don't feel like you have to do anything else other than just be yourself, just because they put you there, and I think that is about it. I went through the big parts and the tidbits. So what did you guys think of the episode?
I loved it. I thought it was a good episode. Of course, it wasn't better than last week. A lot of people hated on the Love Jones episode, but I loved it. But this episode was good. Just didn't top that. But it was.
Okay.
It gave us more insight to Duda's relationship with Marcus.
Mm-hmm. I think he was just fed up. I think he already didn't like Dude.
Yeah.
And then Marcus was always on his ass about something. And I think that was like the final straw.
It was.
And Duda just had it. Because he told Trig in the office, that light-skinned nigga thinks he's better than us.
Right.
Like, it was always brewing.
So it was deeper. It was deeper than him just saying that about Gemma. It was deeper than that. So, I mean, Duda beat his ass, but you know what? Duda's back. We see the real Duda now. We see the real street dude, Duda. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. But what?
Even though he thinks he's a good person.
Right. He tries to act like one, and then, I'm wondering, when did Trig and Duda become like best friends? When did that happen? Because now they have this relationship, like they talked to each other, and Duda even offered him a position in his administration, which he wouldn't even offer his own wife.
But I didn't really take that as really the administration. I think it's like, really, you're going to be one of my gutter niggas, just like your brother was. But it's going to be for show. So, yeah, put on a collared shirt, but you're going to do my dirty work. Like this MFer up here on the floor, you're going to have to handle that for me. That's what I think that was. But they got closer because of old girl, the mother of the first boy who got shot, Jason. Yeah, Tracy. Because of her and that whole community thing. Because remember, he got into that, and she got involved with Duda, and so then Duda got into that and backed it and defunded the police to form that community program. So that was when they became like right hand man. You know,
are we kind of seeing a setup for a Keisha/Emmett relationship, or
because I'm like,
it's kind of looking like it's going that direction,
because Tiff doesn't want to stop the open marriage.
No, she said she likes that shit.
But Emmett's trying to buy a house. Who's gonna live in that house?
With his mom.
Remember, and Keisha's tired of living in that house, because just like in the before it even, you know, the little bit they showed before they do the intro, and Kevin and Papa were singing and playing music, and the baby was trying to sleep, and she goes up there, she's like, turn that shit down. She wants to get up out of there. And Emmett buying a house, and Tiff don't want to be a faithful wife. So it might be a roommate situation / one night we watching Love Jones and some shit pop back off.
JB, JI, did y'all see the episode?
I did. I didn't like it because you were.
JB, that's my dude. But man, I ain't gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be in no more, man. I don't know. If Kristen come back, I might come back.
I'm gonna just say this. I come from a long line of women, and in no circumstance can you ever go cook, clean, massage feet for your ex-baby mama when you married. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I agree, but he's not married to Dom, though.
Huh?
Darnell is not married to Dom.
Even if it's like, Erica, you my girlfriend, I'm gonna be like, baby, let me go tend to my son's mother and massage her feet and poke, not pork, poke chops.
Well, of course he's not gonna tell Dom he did that.
Yeah, but if Dom follow him one day and find out,
that's a problem. That is problematic.
That's all I got.
I don't think he has any plans of Dom finding that out.
You know what else I didn't like? And this is the old man get off my grass me. I didn't like the fact that they were promoting like 16-year-old kids smoking weed in the car. Like, oh, Lena Waithe, you know, you gotta do a little bit.
I agree.
But it's reality, though.
Are they promoting it, or are they depicting what is going on in Chicago?
It's reality.
This is what is going on.
So wait. If you show that particular group, I can show you 1,000 more kids that don't do anything similar to that. J.I., you know, me and you were in the CPS educational system. That was one of those. How can I put it?
I am too. Don't leave me out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you are a teacher too. My 1,000 pardons.
Yeah.
We know that that's not the norm. We know that.
It's not. And you know what? It's definitely promoting it.
It's promoting.
It's not the norm for the type of kids that they are. The type of kids that go to school every day, that have involved parents. You're right. It's not the norm for the type of kids that they are.
And that's why I said I have a problem with it, because
now they're passing it off as if it is.
You're
Right.
passing it off as like this is what they all do because it's a nationally syndicated television show.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And you know what? I was having a get off my lawn moment too. Like, wait a minute, because I thought about that. I was gonna put it in the chat, but smoking weed in the car, you taking baby girl to the hotel. These are teenagers. We came into the Shy with some janky stuff. Like I always, because I'm hung up on this, and I just said I'm gonna let it go. But Keisha's age, she was definitely a teenager in season 1, and we were flat out seeing sex scenes with her.
See,
and we've normalized that. Like,
but this is reality, though.
Hold on, but let me. You know what's reality too? You know what's reality too? It's a lot of things that are reality. But the truth of the matter is, I think JB pointed it out. It's inconsistent with that's the reality of dysfunctional families. But there's a lot. I mean, and here's what happens. I definitely think that if it gets a little bit too whitewashed, then we'll just say it's a little bit too, too generic. But and I like, by the way, let me say this. I did definitely like the episode. But I've always had a little bit of an issue, and I just thought, oh, this is a grumpy old man moment. Like we're promoting teenage sex and drugs as if it's okay. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe it is.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you look deeper at the characters, though, but you have to take a look at that's what Papa is there for. Because Papa is not involved in that. Papa is like, let me get out this car, because if I go home smelling like weed, it's going to be a problem.
Papa smoked with him, though. Papa smoked with him, though.
You do have Papa as a balance. But let's look at the characters, though.
But is he really balanced, Erica? Because
hold on.
He may say one thing, but he does a lot of other stuff that's not balanced.
But can't you see a kid like him doing that? Because his friends are doing it, this happens. And here's another thing. If you look at those characters, the things that Jake is doing, right, with weed and stuff like that, makes sense based on where he came from. He's from a broken home with no parents and no nothing. Okay. Now, Kevin did not grow up in a broken home, but he is battling with some things. And now his boy is influencing him. Now his boy took his girl. He's probably trying to emulate that bad boy. Like some of it makes a little sense. It's not like these are just some great, outstanding kids with no problems at all. And all of a sudden, one day they hop in the car and start smoking weed. Then you got Papa, that's the good boy, right? But he got friends that's doing this, and he don't want to be lame either, even though he does have a more self.
That's why I say promoting it, because you just equated smoking, not smoking, to being lame.
There you go.
I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm far from lame. I ain't never a lame.
No. But I'm saying this by the view of the youth.
That's why.
Like in real life. Like in real life, this may be how kids would react.
Allow me to interject.
Especially if it's being promoted that way.
There you go. But allow me to interject because I'm gonna give you a dose of realism. Of all of us here, I think I'm the only one that can say that has had a 16-year-old son in a Chicago public school, right? I'm the only one that can say that, right?
Say again?
I'm the only one that can say I had a 16-year-old child in a Chicago public school. I'm the only one that can really attest to that, right?
Most definitely.
I also gave my 16-year-old, 17-year-old son my car. So he's driving around going to school, right?
Okay.
But he also knew better, no matter what friend he had in the car, there was no smoking, there was no drinking, there was no adverse behavior. Because now you're a responsible young adult, and the way that I gave you my car, you have to return my car the exact same way if you want further usage of said car. So let's not normalize the fact that this is what all 16-year-old kids from broken, good, and divisional families do. That's not what happens. Now, a lot of people say, well, you may be lumped in with the company that you keep. Well, hell, if I'm around a bunch of people that smoke weed and snort drugs, that don't mean I do it. It can be perceived that way. But when it's actually shown that you're partaking, now I have to look at you differently.
Mm-hmm.
The average 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy is not riding around smoking weed with his friends.
But you know what? I agree with that, JB. I agree with that. But I think the average 16 or 17-year-old boy doesn't think anything's wrong with it, whether they do it or not.
Depends on your household.
You know what? I never did it, but I never preached to anybody like, hey, you're doing something bad. I found this out about a few weeks ago. Most kids think smoking weed is totally okay. They have some aversion, and they're a little bit more cautious about drinking.
Now watch this.
Most kids think smoking weed is fine.
If you give Jalen your car, you're not going to tell Jalen, so you're going to tell Jalen, hey, ain't no drinking in my car and driving, ain't no smoking in my car and driving, because I know you.
Yeah.
Same way I'm telling Cam, hey, ain't no smoking in my car, ain't no drinking in my car. If more parents did that, then that wouldn't be normalized, right? And I hate to get political, I'm sorry, but it just...
I agree. But based on the show, Jake doesn't have anybody to tell him that.
Trigg should have told him, because first of all, you gave him a G-Wagon. So now he's a target because he's a 16-year-old riding in a $200,000 truck. That's why I said the show.
And so when the cops roll up on him and the smoke billows out, then you'll
tell again, Jay.
And they're gonna ask for some. They're gonna ask for some ID then.
Say it again.
You have to give it once you're driving.
But what I'm saying is, where I say I did enjoy the show overall, but it was certain points where it was just like, yeah, you kind of promoting the wrong thing in this particular instance. You kind of should shy away from that. I would have loved for Papa to do one of those. Man. We in Trigg car and stuff, blah, 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 blah. We 16, take the weed away and give it to him and say, dude, put that up for another time. I would have loved to see some positivity like that.
Yeah.
Seen in the show, as opposed to the man just miraculously comes out with 3 blunts. Like, was this planned? Like, you just randomly got, hey, man, I'm about to pick up my boys. I got 3 blunts.
Hey, you know what? Hold on. I just can't get over this. I mean, and I don't have a daughter, but so I think about it. So I'm far removed from it. So I know I'm not seeing it in an accurate perspective all around. But all of this, like, if I'm right, buddy that just got whooped, he's aware that his daughter is sexually active, and he was aware Kevin was coming in and out of the house. I mean, now that's something that I think parents, they have to wrestle with at that age or whatever the case may be. But it's being dealt with so nonchalantly.
There it is. It's almost like it's taboo to talk about.
There's an element of realism to it. But when you yeah.
Jay, you there?
Uh-oh.
Did he freeze T?
I'm going out, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's damn Wi-Fi.
I don't know if you guys can see. But I'm okay with it because it does add a real.
Well,
can you guys see me?
Yeah, I see that you got a fucked up connection.
Wi-Fi.
But that go ahead, Erica.
I think it's would I let my teenage daughter go to the hotel after a dance? No, I would not. Did I know people in high school who went to hotels after prom? Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Did we have a champagne sip before prom? Yes, we did. That's promoting drinking and driving, and we're underage. But our parents allowed that. So I don't really know that what we're seeing on the Shy is that much out of the ordinary. Maybe parents, because I think parents are more strict now than they used to be because times have changed.
Most parents most kids don't even live with their parents.
I'm talking about good parents. I'm talking about good parents.
I want my mother on the show right now, and I'll tell you what strict was.
No, right. I'm saying
we was way more strict back then than now. See, here's the problem. Right now,
and how were we drinking champagne before prom and spending the night in hotels?
Because we didn't know that was necessary.
Age. I didn't do.
No, JR, who was weak? Because I didn't sip no champagne, and I for damn sure didn't stay in the hotel.
But you knew people that did at that age,
right? And it was normal. It was normal back then. But we're more evolved as a culture now. We didn't know that. My parents smoked with us in the car with the windows rolled up because that's what they did at that time. It was allowed at that time.
Right.
So, but as we grow on and we know now, like I can look back and say it was a lot of stuff we did that I wouldn't do with my son now that I thought was perfectly okay. But let me tell you this.
Hey,
drinking and driving was
the last point. This is the last point on this subject.
Okay, but hold on. I'll let someone else have it.
I'm going to take one right here just because I've been listening to this whole conversation. Great conversation. This show is rated R. It's rated for 18 and older, correct? So you shouldn't even have kids watching this show in the first place. It's not really about promoting it.
Check mark.
It's an adult show, so they shouldn't even be watching it in the first place, guys. So if you're letting your kid watch the show, you're not being a very good parent. Which means that your kid's probably doing some stuff they probably shouldn't be doing anyway. But I'm just saying that.
Good point.
Excellent point.
That's the drop the hammer point.
Very good point.
Drop the mic. And with that point, we're going to go into our Post-it notes. Then we're going to go on our shout-outs and get the hell out of here. Erica, we appreciate you, as always.
I appreciate you guys as well.
Great job, Erica.
We will see you next week.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time for some Post-it notes, boys.
Let's get into the Post-it notes.
So this song lives rent-free in my head now all the time.
I like that little song.
I finally got to let the beat drop too.
I was about to say he definitely let the beat drop this time.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. So, hey, on this special edition of Post-it Notes, the other day I posted, and AB, you can throw it up. And I'll talk. Ooh. I posted who has a better deep dish pizza than Giordano's? Who? Now these six right here, they those got the most mentions. There were some others like Bacciano's or
Baccinos, man.
Bacino, whatever. Whatever. It had a couple mentions, but these got the most mentions. All right, you can take it off.
Nobody.
So nobody has a better deep dish, but I did try Pequod's or however it's pronounced, and it was not good.
You telling them the whole, shouldn't you show the clip and tell them to go watch YouTube? You can't tell them already,
you gotta promote the clip.
You gotta promote it. You can't just tell them.
I watched it and I was like,
can I finish saying what I was saying? So it was not. It was not good by a long shot. And so I actually did a review, and I'm gonna show you part of that review. Go ahead, kick it, AB. Talking that shit. Woo.
It's hot as fuck out here, man. But let's try this pizza.
Alrighty, so let's go in and get it. Now,
And that's that.
so guys, if you want to see the whole review in its entirety, you need to go to our YouTube page, Chicago Clubhouse. Chicago Clubhouse, that is our YouTube page, and you can check out the whole review. Now, Bullet said, "What about Phil's Pizza? What about it? What about it?" Yeah, I don't think I can get to that, dog. I don't.
I've never played UConn, so I ain't never been there.
But yeah. So check out that review. And this weekend, I will be reviewing Giordano's, and on the next show, I'll give you a teaser of that, and you can go on YouTube and you can see the whole review. Okay, so I guess we can do our shout outs and get out of here.
I just want to know, T, when you put up those pizza joints, like, come on, man, like we gotta have a ranking or something, because like we supposed to be Chicago pizza aficionados, man. Like,
well, I can give you a ranking right now. Giordano's one. Yeah. It doesn't even matter about anybody else. Giordano's
Nothing
one.
else matters after that. It doesn't matter.
But you know what? I hear you, and that makes sense. So maybe next week I will rank them according to what people are saying.
We'll rank these 6 behind.
So if we were to rank these 6, but add Giordano's in that, of course Giordano's would be first. Lou would probably be second, even though
between Giordano's and Geno's East, they vying for number 1.
Geno's East has this gravelly, like cornmeal crust, kind of like Lou Malnati.
They got the old school crust.
Yeah, I personally don't like that, but a lot of people do. So a lot of people are saying Lou Malnati.
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Next Monday or Tuesday during the day, we got to go to Bacino's so you can put them on there. I'm telling you, that'll change your life.
Okay, I'm willing, but I can almost guarantee none of these will be better than Giordano's.
Oh, I don't want it to be better. No. I'm just saying they top 5.
Oh, okay, top 5. Okay, cool.
Maybe top 3.
Pequod's barely makes that. they barely make a top 5. There is.
Hey, B, have you ever had Pequod's?
No, I have not. I haven't had a whole lot of. I've had Giordano's. I've had a little bit of Geno's East. I just on your list, none of that. Well,
for one, Beggars is not known for their deep dish. Beggars is known for their regular. Yeah, so we might need to take Beggars out of there. Like
I went to Aurelio's the other day too.
Well, no, but I'm saying you can put
Aurelio's too. And
as far as Chicago is concerned, you can put Pizzeria Uno or Pizzeria Do.
Those had a couple benches.
Right.
Those had benches
over Beggars. Like when we talk about straight deep dish or stuffed, those surpass Beggars. Like Beggars is like you get you a little thin crust, but it's got like 18 layers of toppings. That's Beggars.
I went to Aurelio's the other day. I wasn't that impressed with that either.
You're not going to be impressed with much after having Giordano's.
After Giordano's, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, you're not going to be impressed with much.
If you go to Aurelio's, you got to get the thin joint.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, see, like, so where I'm at, we got a place called Monocle's, and they've got really good thin crust pizza. It's like pretty much anybody that leaves here goes, I got to come back to get that.
See, that thin crust with the heavy topping.
Like, they actually make, like, a special French dressing tart that you have with it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, there's people buy bottles of this stuff just to have.
Oh, word?
Like, oh yeah. Like, I'll have to bring it one time whenever I come back up there around you guys.
We'll get that going soon.
I'll bring you some, man. It will change your life. It is amazing, especially for thin crust.
Gotcha. And that's the thing. Like some of the thin crust, when you have the thin crust, the toppings are the topping, but that sauce can change the game.
The sauce, yes, the sauce makes a big difference. A big difference.
I don't know. It's just something the way that they mix it with the spice they put on it. Yes. It just makes it perfect, man.
There you go.
It's also the ratios, the sauce to the cheese to the crust. You can't have like really big crust and a little bit of cheese and a little bit of sauce. You can't have that.
That sounds like something you just ate.
That sounds like does.
It does. Yeah. But
I'm sorry, that pizza you had looked disgusting.
Hey, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Not only did I watch it, I was like, I told your ass. I did.
My mouth when I watched it. I was like, that looks disgusting.
Hey, T. Mom's just checked in and she said Lou Malnati's.
I'm gonna do it. No, you know what? You should do a review on Lou.
No, I don't like. That's Mama's. I don't. Love you, Mom, but
you can't speak on it when you don't believe it, man. Come on.
I don't like.
She's had it before. I said my mother.
I don't like that gravelly crust. I don't.
I don't like the thick tomatoes, but that's another story for another time.
Shout out, son, boy.
Let's get to our shout outs, man. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Anybody going first or?
Hey, I go first. I like to shout out Diab Muhammad. Diab came through and tore the place down. I want to shout out to our guests. Thomas energy was off the chain, was phenomenal. Shout out to our earlier guest Ryan. Ryan Baker. Ryan was, man, he was dope. He put me up on some things that about Thorn Ridge. You know, Diab is a Thorn Ridge guy. That's probably why he stepped in the building as well. So I want to give all those people a shout out. Everybody that's tuning in and just seeing. I think we've officially made it. Now we got a couple of haters. So now I know we've who continues to check in and hey, let's keep this thing going.
You stole my shout out. So first and foremost, I definitely want to shout out to those haters. Fuck, cheers to you guys. We're gonna keep kicking ass over here, and we're gonna keep taking names and not giving a shit about what you say. So please keep bringing it. First and foremost. Secondly, I got my first fan this week. Actually, Terrence's old lady, my new #1 fan.
Watch that shit. Watch it now.
Shout out to you for being my new #1 fan.
Go on, AB. Go on, man.
And, last but not least, you guys letting me on with you every week, having fun doing it, man. Let's all keep going. I'm having a blast. Love this episode, man.
So I guess it's on me.
It's all you, JB.
You know you are brother, bro. So, man, thank you. One of the best times in my life was meeting you.
Yeah, same.
So we're going to keep it moving, bro.
We are.
I'm going to be real quick. Shout out to SB. Shout out to Miss Sandra, Mom, I got some Illuminati's for you. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna chop it up. And hey, shout out to Blake Reed, shout out to Bullets, shout out to Diab. And we had some dope fans today, right?
So
CEO says shout out to Thornridge Falcons.
So
shout them out.
This lady is Bonnie Sanders. She actually just added us on Twitter as well.
Great.
So thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Always love a definite. She's a loyal guest, a loyal. Always chiming in. Loves the shot. Respect and love to her. One thing that I wanted to really, really shout out to is shout out to you three, and I'm gonna join that crew because based upon, I'm sorry if I get a little emotional, but based upon what I saw earlier, I love our perseverance. I love our focus. And the reason you keep doing something is mainly because somebody doesn't want you to. So y'all continue to inspire me. I'm going to continue to inspire y'all. And we're going to keep this thing moving. That's right.
Damn right. On you, T.
Ooh, that's hard to
follow up. I don't know if you can top that, man. Yeah,
that's hard
beautiful.
That's hard to follow up,
man.
But I will say first, shout out to everybody in the chat. See us saying Bullets, Blake, Diab,
yeah,
and I forget who else. Don't charge it to my heart.
I think D-Baby chimed in for the first time.
Yeah, D-Baby did.
Oh, D-Baby!
You don't remember him?
Boy, we gonna make a comeback. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all for chiming in. Even if you didn't chime in and you lurking, appreciate y'all too. I was debating if I was gonna address this, but the haters that chimed in, that lets us know that we're doing something right.
Right.
So it did hit me in the gut for a second, as I think that it hit all of us in the gut for a second. But hey, like John said, we persevere. We keep going. Fuck it. Fuck y'all haters. We gonna keep doing what we do. But racism is still alive, unfortunately. But we gonna turn the other cheek. All right, so I've given that enough press. We gonna keep going. So I'm shouting out Lisette, of course. The CEO saying, yeah, exactly. We gonna keep going. Shout out our prior guest, Ryan. Ryan was awesome. Ryan Baker, straight up Chicago dude. He saw what he wanted to do, which was journalism, and that's what he did, and that's what y'all saw on the wall. If you saw the episode, he had it all on the wall. That's what he did. Started out as a sports anchor. Now he's like an anchor for the whole morning news.
Yep. He top guy.
Yep. So shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Thomas. Came in here and wreck shop with that KD bullshit talk.
That's all right.
But shout out to him, man.
After a while, because we were just going at it.
I love his knowledge. I love his confidence in what he's saying. And congrats on the new position, man. And we'll have you back on the show so we can chop it up with you some more. And shout outs to y'all three, man. It would not be a damn podcast if it wasn't for you three. Like I said last week, don't nobody want to watch me on the podcast. Don't nobody want to watch me like that, man. So J.I., even though you don't know shit, JB, you know everything. AB, you're the X Factor, man. I mean, damn. The show moves. The show moves as you all move. I'm just riding y'all coattail. So yeah, this is great, man. This is great. But that's it for my shout outs. I'm gonna conclude it for J.I., the human Wikipedia, who knows everything and nothing at the same goddamn time. My man JB, who knows every single stat from every single team since the 90s. My man AB, X Factor. I'm T Nick, point guard, quarterback, the coolest dude in the room. When I'm the only dude in the room. We out.
Peace.
Later.